Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. We are back with more WSL action as Chelsea women take on Everton women at Kings Meadow. Chelsea have dropped to second today as Manchester City's late win to Leicester put them above Chelsea, but a win tonight for the Blues will put them back to the top of the table and they'll be ahead by 3 points. For Everton, they have had a huge drop-off compared to last season, as this campaign they are currently 10th and 5 points off relegation, when last season they finished in 6th and put their under their first season with their new manager at the time, Brian Sorensen. When these two sides met last time, it was a 3-0 win back in mid-November for Chelsea. Goals from Fleming, Kurt and Beaver Jones was the difference, but the last time they met at Chelsea's Kings Meadow Stadium, it was an embarrassing 7-0 defeat where Chelsea had 6 different scorers. So, can Chelsea regain top spot in the WSL, or can Everton cause a huge upset and win their first game against Chelsea since September 2020? This only has really one result written all over it. I'd be very surprised if Everton can come to Chelsea and get a result, especially when last season they came here and got beat 7-0. And add on top of that, Everton are a lot worse off than they were this season than they were last season. This season they've been a lot worse than what they were. 3 wins from their 12 games so far. And in fairness, all 3 of those wins have come away from home. They have not won at home yet, but they have won all 3 of their games away. They've won against Liverpool back in October, Aston Villa in November, and West Ham in December. So usually they are better. They are better away from home than they are at home. But today they're up against Chelsea, who are looking to win their 5th WSL in a row. And Chelsea at the moment are unbeaten in their last 32 home games in the WSL. The last time they lost in the league at home was against Brighton in February 2021. And at the moment they are currently on a win streak of 21 games, winning in a row at home in the WSL. Not unbeaten, 21 wins in a row. That is absolutely ridiculous. So Everton have got their work cut out. They are still under manager Brian Sorensen, who came in last season and got them to that 6th place finish. But I don't know if it's the recruitment that's gone wrong, or the players they've lost. Whatever it is, they have struggled massively this season. 10th place at the moment. A win here looks very unlikely, so it does look like they'll probably stay at 10th position come the end of this game. The last time they played, it was a 1-0 home defeat to Leicester. Leicester are doing a bit better than they did last season. Leicester are currently 7th in the table, where they were near the bottom last season, but they lost by 1-0 at home to Leicester. They had 8 shots, Everton, and I don't think they had any on target. And then they've got to now come to Chelsea, which is a huge ask for them. If this result does go very poorly for Everton, they do have a League Cup game to distract next week. They play Forest in the League Cup away, but then they've got West Ham, who got a massive victory today against Arsenal, who they're right next to Everton in the table. They've got them at home on the 18th, and they travel to Manchester City at the start of February. So they have got 2 nicer fixtures coming up, Everton, but then they've straight back in the deep end when they've got to go to Manchester City away. It'll be very interesting how this season kind of ends up for Everton, because obviously they've definitely got the players. I've been doing the research on the players during the week. They've got the players to be higher up in the table. They have got good players. It's just not been quite working so far this season, and I think it is a big ask to come up against Chelsea here and try and get something. And if they can, that would be a huge result. Chelsea come into this game off the back of a 3-0 away win in the WSL against Brighton. 2 more goals for Lauren James. They also won in the week in the Champions League. They played Paris away and they won 4-0 as well. So they are into this game off a great run of form. Chelsea are currently 7 wins in a row in all competitions, starting from the 17th of December. So it could be a very big ask for Everton to try and get something from this game, but they will try their best, and we'll have to see if they can maybe try and make this as hard a game as possible for Chelsea. We'll have to wait and see, but we'll go through both teams. We'll start with the lineup here. Just the 2 changes from their last league starting 11 for Chelsea, and it's Hannah Hampton to remain in goal, making her 5th appearance for Chelsea. She's signed back in the summer of 2023. And at right back is going to be the Canadian Ashley Lawrence, who was signed in the summer from PSG. On the left-hand side at left-back is going to be Niamh Charles, was formerly of Liverpool. She came through their academy. In two centre-halves, Jess Carter is back in, making her 12th start in the WSL, and she'll play alongside Natalie Bjorn, who signed in January of this year from Everton. A huge miss for Everton, but she is transferred to Chelsea, and she is starting her third game in the colour of Chelsea blue. Three in the midfield, two holding midfielders of Melanie Leupolz, and alongside her tonight's captain for Chelsea, and that's Erin Cuthbert. In behind the striker is going to be Lauren James, who's got 12 WSL goals, 11 in the last 6 games. On the right hand side is going to be Joanna Ritten Carnred. On the left is going to be Gura Wrighton, and leading the line, one of the breaking the record transfer fee if the add-ons come through, and it will be Mayra Ramirez, joined from Levante for £384,000. If the add-ons come through, it'll be a lot more than that. That would make her the record-breaking transfer in women's football, and that is the Chelsea starting 11. And for Everton is Courtney Brosnan in goal, back four of Heather Payne, Elise Stanovic, Megan Finnegan the captain, and Ricky Madsen as a back four. Three midfield of Claire Wheeler, Aurora Galley, and Justine Van Haar Varmaat. And then on the left is going to be Hannah Bennison. On the right is Catherine Cool, on loan from Arsenal for the rest of the season. She joined in January, and she's making a second start for Everton. Her first start came in the last league game against Leicester, where they lost 1-0. And leading line up front, joined in the summer from AC Milan. She's played for the likes of Sevilla, Roma, Real Betis, and Fiorentina as well. It is Martina Piemonte, who is only making a 10th WSL appearance, and she's only scored the one goal. Came in a 2-2 draw at home to Bristol back in the 19th of November. So that is both starting 11s here. We'll have to see what Everton go with, because they're playing a lot of what are usually midfielders. They haven't got a lot of out-and-out centre-backs on the pitch, and they don't really have many out-and-out centre-backs on the bench as well. They've got one defender on the bench of Annie Wilding, who's only 19, and she's yet to play in the WSL so far this season. So they are lacking numbers as well. Only 7 named on the bench for Everton tonight, which shows you the position they're in at the moment. Did lose Natalie Bjorn at the centre-back, which would have been a big help for them tonight. She has joined Chelsea. She starts tonight. And I've just read apparently the transfer fee was £100,000 for the Swedish centre-back, but it's going to be a big miss for Everton, who have got to go through this season. Hopefully they can survive. They are 5 points off relegation. They are on 11 points. Bristol City at the bottom are on 6. So there's a little bit of a gap, but it's places like this where I don't think Everton expect to walk away with anything. It would be a massive bonus if they could even take a point. That would be massive for Everton, but it will be Everton to kick us off, kicking right to left. Chelsea left to right here at Kings Meadow. Chelsea send the ball forward long up towards the edge of the box, headed away by Carter for Chelsea. It'll drop here to Gali for Everton, who can only head as far as Cuthbert, who goes backwards to Carter. Clearance isn't great, and Chelsea can attempt to break. Everton can attempt to break here with their number 19 of Heather Payne, and they're just keeping the ball here, Everton, and they've gone back into their own half. So with the captain tonight, number 20, Finnegan, her pass is just about intercepted there by Gura Wrighton, and it will be a throw-in for the away side. A bit of unexpected possession to start the game off for Everton. As we are underway here with Everton on the ball, but they're giving it away to Mayra Ramirez, and Lauren James takes over on the left-hand side, looking to find a pass if possible. She's surrounded by Everton shirts, Lauren James, as she eventually loses the ball, and Everton once again give it away, this time to Niamh Charles, and it's Wrighton who kicks it off. Everton's, looks like number 8 there, and that is going to be Van Haar Varmaat. And Mayra Ramirez in the box goes down under a challenge, and the referee gives a goal kick in the end. Mayra Ramirez, the Colombian striker, signed from Levante, record fee. She was just about able to spin around Finnegan, and there was a bit of contact there from Van Haar Varmaat, trying to get that name nailed down, because that is a long one. You can see it on screen, number 8, left centre midfielder. But nothing given. I think it was more Ramirez tried to run across her to try and initiate some contact. The referee tonight, Emily heel slip, was not buying any of it, and it's an Everton goal kick. And they're going to start with their goalkeeper Brosnan, trying to build from this right hand side now for Everton. It's back with the goalkeeper Brosnan, who clears it first time. Midway inside the Everton half, it's headed forward for Chelsea there by Charles, cleared in the end here for Everton towards Ricky Madsen, whose touch just goes out of play on this near side, right in front of her manager, Brian Sorensen. Signed in January, Madsen, from North Carolina. He's 26 years of age, making a 5th appearance here for Everton, Ricky Madsen. But it is Chelsea on the ball inside their own half with former Everton player Natalie Bjorn. Neve Charles goes down the line looking for Wrighton, who will get the ball there first. Goes towards the corner flag. A cross is blocked by Benison, who will then volley the ball away here for Everton down their right-hand side. It's controlled by Leupolz, who puts the tackle in there on Piemonte. And it will be a Everton throw-in on the halfway line on that far side. Well won there by Martina Piemonte, who was Everton's first signing of the summer. She scored 13 goals last season in the women's Serie A for AC Milan. 16 no competitions, 3 of them against Juventus. There's a throw-in down the line, cleared for Chelsea up towards Ramirez. Can't make it stick, but it's poked away from her by Van Havermaet. And it's Chelsea back on the ball with a throw-in with Cuthbert. Loses it in the middle of the park, and Everton again lose the ball with a sloppy pass, but then so does Chelsea through Melanie Leupolz, and that'll be a throw-in for Everton on that far side, inside their own half still, as they'll try and throw it into the Chelsea half. They throw it here to Everton's number 7 of Wheeler, deflects off Cuthbert, and it'll be a Everton throw-in again, where it can be taken. They're going to take their time with the throw-in. And it's thrown down the line. Header comes off Wrighton. Backwards, though, and Everton can try and get away here on the right-hand side. They've got players coming into the area. If they can work across in the right-wing position, Bjorn is showing them down the line, and the cross goes in, deflects off Bjorn, and that will be a corner here for Everton, who've got off to a positive start in the opening 5 minutes here. Definitely a positive start for the away side. We've got Chelsea in the chat there. Come on, Chelsea. With a win today, they'll go back top of the WSL. They've got a couple of players in there. The tallest, for sure, is Van Havermaet, the Belgian midfielder. I think is playing at the back tonight. She's 6'1". She will definitely be someone they will be aiming for in the area. The ball will be crossed in here for Everton. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger. It's a deeper one towards the penalty spot. It's headed on towards goal, and it's kept in by Hampton before it goes for a goal kick. And can she maybe set off a counter-attack here? Hampton, she's going to go for it. Big kick deep into the Everton half. It's controlled well by Wrighton. Ramirez is making the run through. She's been found here. Ramirez, can she get the shot off? Onto her left foot, and it's poked away from her, I think, there by Wheeler. And it will be a corner for Chelsea. Back to front very quickly. Good kick forward by Hampton to find Wrighton, who brought it down well midway inside the Everton half, and she saw the run of Ramirez and played in behind Wheeler, who was the one to eventually clear in the end as she recovered in a defensive position. Good defending there from the number 7, Claire Wheeler, Australian. The ball goes to the edge of the area here, and Cuthbert will strike it over the crossbar. I didn't see the corner be taken. They were showing replays, but it was a short corner where it was played to James and then played back into Wrighton, whose cross into the box was headed away in the 6-yard area. Then it fell to Cuthbert on the edge, who decided to strike with the left foot, but couldn't quite keep it under the crossbar. So it remains 0-0 here at Kings Meadow. Can hold up to 4,850 fans. 2,265 of those is seated. It is home for Chelsea women and the Chelsea development squads as well. It's from the goal kick from Brosnan, flicked on by Piemonte. Dealt with here by Bjorn. Good defending there, keeping it away from Everton's number 19 of Heather Payne. But the clearance forward picked up for Everton. They go back to their goalkeeper, Courtney Brosnan. He was born in New Jersey in the USA, but she's got Irish descent, so she does represent Ireland at international level, including the World Cup in the summer. As they've got it up here to the striker, Piemonte. Then out wide right here, there's been a run being made in behind here through Madsen, who will chase it down in the area, and it's had to be kicked out for a corner there by Jess Carter. Good running in behind there by Madsen, the number 26, the new signing in January, bending a run and getting in between the likes of Lawrence and Bjorn, and then it was in the end, it was Carter on the recovery to just slide in and kick the ball away with her left foot. But once again, it's an Everton corner, and they've got off to a good start here so far. Despite the fact they've only won 3 of their last 10 in all competitions, they're playing some nice football, and I actually watched the highlights for one of their recent games. It was Aston Villa in the FA Cup, where they proceeded to go through into the 5th round, and they played really well. They beat Aston Villa 3-0. I know that they're not having a great season, Aston Villa, but Everton played nice football as the corner goes into the near post, headed away by Carter, and there'll be a throw-in this time on that far side for Everton, with the corner taker not taking the throw, and they'll leave it here for number 19, Heather Payne, who won Ireland's Women's Player of the Year for 2023. As her throw-in is controlled by Wheeler, right on that corner flag. She spins and crosses, and the ball goes out for a corner. No complaints from Chelsea. I thought that might have just gone for a throw-in instead, but it was blocked by Chelsea's Niamh Charles, who, as mentioned at the start of the game, is a academy graduate from Liverpool's academy, joining Chelsea in the summer of 2020. She got a contract here at Chelsea, Niamh Charles, till 2027. But they've got some more defending to do here, the home side, against an Everton side who is in their grey away kit tonight. There'll be another in-swinger towards the penalty spot again. Header away by Bjorn. It can't be kept alive here for Everton. It'll go back towards the halfway line. Played forward by Wheeler. Out to the Everton left in the area. Brought down here towards Piemonte, but it's cleared away from her for Chelsea. And it'll go right through into the Everton half. And it'll be a throw-in for the away side. Midway side of their own half. And there is Emma Hayes, who won her 225th game. Last time out as a Chelsea boss against Paris away from home in the Champions League, where they finished top of the group. Chelsea, which is great to see from an England team's point of view. As Piemonte loses out on the halfway line to Leupold, who clears it long. It's dealt with here by Everton, but it'll drop in the midfield for Leupold, who takes it away here from Kuhl. And then Lauren James is pushed to the ground. That's got to be a free kick, and it is. Lauren James looking to take it quickly, but I think she'll have had other ideas and leave that one there. Yeah, it's just got sandwiched between Wheeler, and I think the other one was Catherine Kuhl, who's on loan here. There's actually Elise Stenovic with the foul, the Norwegian centre-half, who's been at the club now coming into a second season. Stenovic, joined from Sweden, even though she is born in Norway. As the free kick is taken by Cuthbert. Free volley on the edge on the far post. I think by Charles. It was blocked and cleared in the end. And I'm surprised Niamh Charles had all that space in time there at the far post from that free kick. It looked like Cuthbert had sent it too far back, but obviously Niamh Charles had just halted a run and was able to get a shot on goal. It's cleared forward by Hampton for Chelsea. Looking out to the Chelsea left. Can't be brought down by Niamh Charles. It'll be a Everton throw-in midway inside their own half. As we're 10 minutes in, it's still 0-0. It's been a positive start here for Everton despite not having a great season. And it does show, all 3 of their wins in the league this season have come away from home, which I think says everything. They've had a difficult League Cup run as well. The League Cup in the WSL is a league format, like mini group format, and they've lost all 4 of their League Cup games this season. And they have only just got through in the FA Cup against Aston Villa in the 4th round. As they try and play out from the back here, and it's Madsen to try and put the tackle there on Carnrid, who comes out with the ball and drifts out to the Chelsea right here. She's got Lawrence making a run ahead of her. She'll find the Canadian fullback right towards the corner flag. She's surrounded here. Tackled by Stenovic. Ball doesn't go out, so the Everton defender can clear it, but only as far as Lauren James. Still in the final third here for Chelsea. They go across to the left to Leupold, and then on once more here to Bjorn. And it's now with Niamh Charles, midway inside the Everton half. She's got ball inside. She'll play it to Cuthbert, who will then go back to number 39, Bjorn, who was at Everton for just up to 3 years. Made 54 appearances for Everton before making the January switch to Chelsea. As it's with the right back Ashley Lawrence here for Chelsea. On the halfway line with number 7, Jess Carter, who's got the 4th best passing success rate in her team this season, 88%. As Charles looks for Ramirez, and she'll win the ball here with some good strength. It's Cuthbert, who's been closed down, and a pass is blocked off the first time, but she'll win it back for the second attempt, where she'll lift it into the area towards Nee Charles, who can't quite get there. He was also put in towards Wrighton, who tried to slide to get towards the ball, but it went beyond both of them in the end, and it'll be a goal kick for Everton. It'll be taken by the goalkeeper, Courtney Brosnan, who spent 3 years in France before making the move to England, where she was originally at West Ham, before leaving in July 2021 to join Everton on a free. And the goalkeeper will take it short here to the left-hand side. Stenovic, being closed down by Lauren James, but feeds it to the left back here, and that's number 22 of Ayura Gali. Goes forward towards the halfway line looking for Madsen, but been dispossessed there by Ashley Lawrence for Chelsea. Strong defending from the Canadian right back. And we're in the Chelsea half here with Bjorn, the centre half. Good ball forward towards Cuthbert. The touch lets her down, but the clearance from Stenovic isn't good enough for Everton. Lifted forward by Lupoltz, flicked on there by Wrighton, and eventually it's headed back to the goalkeeper by Megan Finnegan, who is an academy graduate of the Everton Academy. The captain tonight, the number 20, Megan Finnegan. The goalkeeper clears it here, up towards Piemonte. Loses out to Jess Carter, but the loose ball off Cuthbert. Drops here for Everton's number 19. And that is Heather Payne. Joined in the summer from Florida State. Heather Payne spent the last 4 years in the USA with a college scholarship, where she was at Bristol City in the WSL the year before she left for the USA, as they've won possession beautifully here, Everton. Kuehl plays it through to the left here to Madsen in the area. One-on with Lawrence. Plays it across the box here. It deflects and it drops in the end towards Jess Carter on the penalty spot, who clears it. And it comes off Piemonte straight into the hands of Hannah Hampton. And a slight half chance there for Everton as they broke forward. It's not been the most convincing of starts for Jess Carter, Chelsea's number 7. They won back possession beautifully there, Catherine Kuehl, who got it in behind Ashley Lawrence to find Nikki Madsen on that left-hand side. She tried to play the ball in the area, I think looking for the return pass to Kuehl, but it deflected around and eventually it dropped into the hands of Hampton after the clearance from Carter off Piemonte. 14 minutes in here. It's Chelsea 0, Everton 0. Last time these two sides met was in November. 3-0 win for Chelsea, who had 67% of the possession that day. Everton were able to get the 9 shots on goal, but none of them hitting the back of the net. It's Chelsea in possession on the halfway line here, with Lupoltz gives the ball away here, and it's Everton who are back in possession. They want to try and get forward quickly. They find Piemonte, who's just inside the Chelsea half, turns away from Carter and lays it off here to Catherine Kuehl. It's now back here with Finnegan. Plays it to her right to Van Havermaet. That's now across to the left here to Elise Stenovic, who apparently, according to the Everton website, she's good defensively and offensively. Elise Stenovic, who's on the ball at the moment on the near side, plays it forward. Catherine Kuehl looking to play it into the path of the number 22 of Ayura Gali, but it just goes ahead of the Italian central midfielder, and it'll be a Chelsea throw-in. But they can definitely play football, this Everton side. As I mentioned before, when I was watching the game back against Aston Villa in the FA Cup, I saw so many times that they can play football. It's obviously just trying to get the end result with playing such good football in the attacking sense, and it's obviously being sharp as well defensively, as it's Ramirez here for Chelsea playing a pass that can't find Charles, and the clearance from Everton goes straight out of play for a Chelsea throw-in. Bit of a lazy pass there from Myra Ramirez, who's making her first Chelsea start in her career. Came off the bench in their last league game against Brighton, played 23 minutes off the bench. Plays it forward here. Drops to Lauren James, who's been a bit quiet as the ball was played forward for Chelsea. I think it was Myra Ramirez or Gura Wrighton in an offside position. And it'll be an Everton free kick in their right back position. It'll be Wheeler to take it. And they'll go back to the goalkeeper of Brosnan. It's now with Megan Finnegan again, going across to Van Havermaet. And they're back across here to Finnegan, just on the edge of the 18-yard box here for Everton. They've got to be careful. This is a position where you don't want to lose the ball. Now with the left centre-half of Stenovic, back across to Finnegan. Here comes the press from Ramirez, but they shift it well here, Everton. Back to the goalkeeper, Brosnan, who takes a touch with her right foot here and goes back to Van Havermaet. And back to the goalkeeper of Brosnan, who needs to clear this in the 18-yard area. She does do so eventually, over the head of Cuthbert, controlled here by Piemonte. Loses out, though, to Leupolz in the end, but then wins it back well. It's now Everton on the ball, in the right-back position with their striker, Piemonte. And Everton still have it here. Van Havermaet plays it forward. Nice, that's a great ball. That is to Benison. Chance could be on here. She gets into the Chelsea half, tackled here. But then it runs through towards Madsen. Tackled there, I think, by Bjorn. And that'll be a throw-in for Everton towards the final third. Throw-in taken quickly here to Claire Wheeler. Down the line, misplaced pass there by Payne. And then cleared forward for Chelsea towards Ramirez, who keeps it away from Van Havermaet, who then wins it back for Everton. She's then dragged down, but the referee sees it as a fair challenge. And it's now with Lauren James on the halfway line, dribbling into her own half to keep the ball. And she'll play it out to the right-hand side now to Lawrence. She's got a run down the line, but she tries to take on Madsen instead, but loses possession. It's not quite clicking so far yet for Chelsea, as Everton do seem quite comfortable when they get on the ball. And they're on the edge of the box again here with Finnegan. When Everton were promoted to the WSL back in 2017-2018, during that 2017 season when they won the championship title, Megan Finnegan only missed one game that season. So she's been so consistent and so important for Everton for so many years now. The academy graduate centre-back, as Everton have lost it eventually, and it's Carnrad to go back to the goalkeeper Hampton, and Chelsea will restart from the back. It's into the midfield here to Leupolz. It's now Bjorn, who won the one league title and the 2 cups in Sweden with Rosengard before she left there for Everton. And then a ball forward there by Wrighton for Chelsea has gone straight through to the goalkeeper. Not quite sure who she was aiming for, and doesn't really look like she knew either. Poor there from Wrighton as the ball's rolled forward here to Finnegan for Everton. Down the left-hand side here, Madsen gets it back inside here to Kuhl. Forward here, controlled well. Everton could be in here. Payne on the ball. Try to slip it through into the area for Piemonte. She finds her. She loses it though to Carter. Needs to be dealt with here as they go back to Hampton, who can just about get there and clear it. It's a thumping ball forward. It goes straight through into the opposite 18-yard box here for the Everton goalkeeper of Courtney Brosnan. Again, just seeming a little bit disjointed at the back here, Everton, in the opening 20 minutes. It's very unlike them. They have conceded a lot more goals this season than compared to last season. Last season they conceded 15 in the whole of the season in the WSL. This season they've already conceded 12. As there's a free kick on halfway line there. Catherine Kuhl being fouled by Melanie Leupolz. But yeah, it just seems a little bit all over the place at the moment. They don't seem quite sure of themselves. Chelsea, who have made 7 changes from the last time they played Everton, which was only in November. The survivors have been Carter, Charles, Cuthbert and Carnrad as they've won the ball here. Cuthbert in the midfield, forward to Ramirez, 25 yards out from goal towards the right-hand side, driving into the area, needs to find the cross now. Cross goes in, all the way through to the far post. Chance for Wrighton to strike it. Great save from Brosnan and cleared away for Everton. Out towards the right-hand side where it can't quite be kept in. It will be a throw-in for Chelsea. The pressure will continue. Throw-in finds Leupolz, who drifted over to this left-hand side, and she'll go back to restart now with Bjorn. And it's now with Carter on the halfway line. Big chance for Chelsea, probably their biggest of the game so far there through Guro Wrighton. He's only got the 1 goal so far this season in the WSL, which came away to Manchester City in October in that 1-1 draw. That's now with the right back Lawrence here for Chelsea. Got a ball down the line to Carnrad. She goes inside first time to Cuthbert, then completes the 1-2. Carnrad, great play for Chelsea. She crosses towards the near post. It comes off Stenovic, and it will be a corner on the near side for Chelsea. Fantastic save, though, there from the Irish goalkeeper of Courtney Brosnan. Good play from Ramirez to charge down the right-hand side and get the cross in before Stenovic could block. It was going towards Lauren James. She missed it, and it went through to the far post of Wrighton, who got a touch there ahead of Megan Finnegan, and she had the shot, and it was well blocked by the goalkeeper. That corner goes in, and the header's won by, I think it was Van Havermaet for Everton, so it will be another corner for Chelsea. Like I say, Justine Van Havermaet is 6'1", probably is the tallest player on the pitch by a mile. Signed from Reading in August of last year. Another in-swinger to the far post this time, asking the question of the goalkeeper! Cleared off the line. Needs to be cleared. And it is momentarily. It drops here to Erin Cuthbert, who goes back to Lawrence. Back out left here to Cuthbert. On the angle, she will try a weak-footed, left-footed cross all the way through and out for a goal kick. That nearly went all the way through there. I don't know if it was the wind or the curl generated from the kick. But that was a bit of a panic there for the goalkeeper, Brosnan. She went for it. She palmed it backwards off the post. It went all the way across the line. And it was cleared in the end. Yeah, she palms it backwards, the goalkeeper, onto the post. And it was cleared by Wheeler off the line. Gets away with that one. Big time, the goalkeeper. Wry smile there from the Everton manager of Brian Sorensen, who knows that their team's got away with that one a little bit. Very nearly an own goal for the goalkeeper. But Chelsea to come again. Cuthbert, Leupolz out towards the right winger of Ritten Carnred, but it's just a bit too in front of her, and it's a throw-in for Everton. Does look like Chelsea stepping it up ever so slightly at the moment, looking a lot better than they have been for the first 15 or 20 minutes. Everton try and play it forward there, but they lose it out here to Leupolz. It's well won back by Piemonte. Ball inside, poke forward for Everton by Kuhl. Can't find Madsen. Up front for Everton. And it's now in the centre circle with Bjorn. Lifted ball out to the right-hand side in behind, looking for Carnred. Goes straight through for a goal kick. She definitely played better passes than that. Natalie Bjorn, who provided an assist in one of her first games for Chelsea, for Lauren James. It was her second goal against Manchester United. She provided an assist for, playing a ball in behind. But that one was slightly overhit there. Do you think Chelsea's going to get a goal in the first half? I don't know. Yeah, possibly. Maybe. They are starting to step it up slightly as Cuthbert wins the header from the goal kick, finds Ramirez, back into Lawrence, midway side the Everton half, in a midfield position, finds Ramirez again, tries to play the ball through to the edge of the area to Wrighton, can't quite take it under control when it goes through to the Everton goalkeeper of Courtney Brosnan. And Everton will play here from the back, or will they go along? They like to try and play out from the back when possible, Everton. But there is times when there is a time and a place to do so. She rolls it out here, the goalkeeper, and kicks it along out to the Everton left-hand side towards Piemonte. Flicks it on for Madsen, who plays it inside towards Piemonte again, but she loses the ball there to Cuthbert. It's now back with the goalkeeper of Hannah Hampton, who made a Champions League debut a couple of weeks ago, playing Real Madrid in a 2-1 win, which helped Chelsea finish top of their group in the Champions League. But in the WSL at the moment, they are on a 21 winning streak at home. As on the halfway line, it's Leupolz skating away from the challenge of Kuhl. Now find Lauren James, who stumbles over the ball and loses possession. Everton can break here. Stenovic bringing the ball forward, trying to play it to the right-hand side. Blocked by Carter, and then cleared forward here for Everton. Needed a bit more composure there, and it can go all the way through for Hampton in the Chelsea goal. He quickly fires it out to right-back Lawrence. He finished 8th in the Ballon d'Or list in 2021, the right-back, which I think is impressive for a full-back. As he finds Ramirez, out to the right here to Carnred, through to Ramirez in the area. On an angle, she'll have to pull it back. She will do just that. It's a strong tackle on Wrighton by Finnegan. And the referee's given a penalty and a yellow card. The first challenge from Megan Finnegan was so good. And I think the referee's also going to book the goalkeeper for dissent. That is a huge decision. I have to see that again. The cross went in from Ramirez. Or was it Wheeler who put the tackle in? Let's have a look. So, Carnred played it down the line for Ramirez, who got the cut back. The first challenge there from Wheeler was fantastic. And then the second one, let's have a look. Cut back. First challenge, she won the ball. And then the second one, as she tried to clear it, oh, that's a shocking decision. Oh my, she pokes the ball away. She goes in with a fantastic challenge there, Wheeler. And then she tries to clear it. Oh, that's so bad. She clearly pokes the ball away first. Yes, she catches the player after. But she so clearly wins the ball first. No, not for me. No way. Yes, she catches the player after the clearance, but she wins the ball first. Clear. Oh, I don't. Not for me. I think that's so harsh on Claire Wheeler, the Australian midfielder, who is so consistent for Everton in her performances. But it is Gura Wrighton to have a chance to score her first home goal in the league this season. She puts it into the bottom left corner, beyond the goalkeeper of Courtney Brosnan. And Chelsea have a lead. They have not played well to their standard at all in the opening 27 minutes. But they have been gifted a penalty from the referee. And that penalty has been dispatched. And it's Chelsea 1, Everton 0. But for me, there's got to be a look at that refereeing decision. For me, I just do not think there's a penalty. It's well dispatched in the end by Gura Wrighton, who opened up a body with a left foot and put it into that bottom left corner. Too well placed for the goalkeeper to stop. But they're showing it again. It was a good cutback by Ramirez, and Wrighton was the one who was tackled the first time. And as she tried to clear it there, Wheeler, Carnred came in, clearly pokes the ball away first, and then catches the player on top of the foot, completely accidentally. And I think that is a horrible decision. I think that is so bad. But Gura Wrighton won't care. She bags a second of the season, fourth in all competitions. She's also scored twice in the Champions League. And Chelsea have a lead. I don't think it's really deserved. I think Everton have really held themselves well in this opening 28 minutes, as they are deep into the Everton half here in the final third on the near side. It's with the defender of Stenovic. It's now with Wheeler, who gave away the penalty and is yellow carded for that foul. It's now back on the halfway line, into their own half actually with Finnegan. To the left here to Wheeler, who's just drifted out to the left-hand side. Getting away here from Carnred. It's now Stenovic. Ball forward towards Piemonte. Header won by Jess Carter. Controlled by Cuthbert midway side her own half. And she goes back to Bjorn. And backwards once more here to Hannah Hampton. And it is Chelsea who lead. And they go back to the top of the WSL. 3 points clear of Manchester City. They've just lost the one game so far this season. Chelsea, that came away to Arsenal before the winter break. Wheeler on the halfway line for Everton. Forward to Piemonte. Can't quite find the run of Stenovic. And it's now forward here for Chelsea. On the halfway line's Lauren James. Got a bit of room to run into. She feeds out to the left-hand side here to Niamh Charles. Got Wrighton in front of her, and she plays it into a path, and she can take a touch, she can enter the box, she can cross it, and it's headed away at the near post. Only as far as Lauren James on the edge of the area, heavy touch, and she's tackled, but it goes only as far as Bjorn, who helps it forward again. Cleared for Everton, but not very convincing. Goes through to Lawrence here for Chelsea. It's now back with Carter in the centre circle. It's with Lawrence again. Inside into the midfield to Lupoltz. And out wide right to Cuthbert. Goes back here to Lawrence. Lupoltz again. Cuthbert. Back to the number 7 of Jess Carter. 26 years of age, Jess Carter. Joined in the summer of 2018 from Birmingham. As Chelsea have the possession on this near side with the right back, Lawrence. It's with Jess Carter once again, who made her Champions League debut against Arsenal at the age of 16. And she won player of the match in that one. So she's been around for quite some time, Jess Carter, despite only being 26. As the clearance there from the goalkeeper Hampton's not great, and Everton pick the ball up here on the right-hand side. Can they make something work? Goes forward towards Piemonte, who can keep it away from Carter, and plays out to the right-hand side here. It's now Madsen, who needs to get the cross right towards the far post. It's a perfect cross! And the finish is nothing short of poor. Really poor. They've got to be doing better with that. Coming in at the far post was Aurora Galley. He scored twice so far this season. Her latest came in December against Manchester City. Perfect cross by Madsen, and she's got to be working that on target there, Galley. Surely. Italian midfielder, first ever Italian to play in the WSL. And at the far post, couple of yards out, she just couldn't control the finish. Sent it flying over the crossbar, and that's a let-off for Chelsea. It was given away by the goalkeeper Hampton, and Everton broke efficiently. But the finish couldn't be found at the end. And it's Chelsea who survive a scare. And for me, I do believe that Chelsea are getting away with this a little bit. They haven't been great at all. As they're away down the left-hand side, final third, right and ball in goes towards Ramirez, dealt with by Stenovic, and it's a corner on the far side for Chelsea. Good defending there by Stenovic, who was taken on by Ramirez for the penalty when Ramirez went down the right-hand side and cut it back for Wrighton, who was tackled by Wheeler, and then Wheeler ended up fouling Carnrid as she tried to clear. Sorry, I've just not changed the scoreline. Sorry, apologies. I'll change it now. Sometimes I just forget. So yeah, sorry, 1-0. As the ball goes in near post, header won by Piemonte. Lauren James helps it back in to the 6-yard box where Brosnan comes and catches. It's a very solid catch there from the goalkeeper, getting beyond Jess Carter. 40th appearance tonight for Everton. Courtney Brosnan, the goalkeeper. Been at the club now for 2.5 years. Everton pokes it out of play there. Bit of a strange one. Midway side their own half. Obviously felt like they couldn't quite keep the ball in. Wow, I did not realise this many people were here. Thank you to everyone who is here. If you want to become a member, it's £5 a month. You don't have to. There's no pressure, but I might as well put it out there. 2 weekly podcasts are coming to the channel once the members' numbers goes up, if they do, at any point. As Cuthbert in the area, right-hand side, being forced to go backwards here. She turns away from Madsen and works across in. Header, though, won by Van Havermaet for Everton. Kept alive by Lawrence. Carter now. Backing out to the left centre half of Bjorn, who's just inside the centre circle at the moment. Lauren James skips past one Everton player. Plays it through for Wrighton, who can cut it back on the byline, and it's well dealt with there by Wheeler. It's not a great clearance, actually. Ball goes back in, flicked on into the area. Volley away for Everton, all as far as Lou Poltz, who can work it to Lawrence. Lifts it into the area, and it's straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, of Brosnan. Still, I just don't think Chelsea are playing that well. I mean, they've 1-0 up through a very fortunate penalty, I think. And Everton are doing themselves quite proud at the moment. To clear it along through Stenovic, chested down by Piemonte. That's a great touch to Kuhl. Ball inside here for Wheeler. Being closed down here by Lou Polt. She needs to try and release it here, the midfielder, and does do so here to Kuhl again. Oh, nice bit of skill to get away from Cuthbert. That's beautiful from Kuhl. Still surrounded by blue shirts and eventually dispossessed here by Carnrid. But then it's won back here by Madsen for Everton in their own half. Galley. 1-2 there with Madsen. Good play here from Everton, and there's a player in behind. Galley needs to find the right pass, but it's intercepted by Charles and then gives it away to Madsen. Not a great touch, but Everton can keep it, and she releases it. Advantage played as Madsen was brought down there. It's now on the right-hand side. Cross goes in by Payne, deflects back to her off Charles. In the final third here, Everton. Van Havermaet through for Bennison in the area, met by Lou Poltz. Goes towards the corner flag here, Bennison. As Everton still have the ball. Kuhl on the edge of the area. Goes across to the left here. And out to the left winger of Madsen, who tries to take on Lawrence on the outside. Works across him, which comes off the head of Carter. And another corner for Everton. 10 minutes before the break. On this near side. I'm very impressed by Everton. I'm surprised they're so low in the table, in all honesty. And the thing is with Everton, they've won 3 games so far this season in the league. They've all come away, but they have lost 7 as well. It's a lot of games to lose. They've only drawn twice. And one of them away from home came to Spurs in November. And they have had less possession than the opponent in the last 5 WSL games against Leicester, Arsenal, City, West Ham and Villa. So they are used to not having the majority of the ball. And they've caused Chelsea issues. They look unnerved, Chelsea, at the back, in my opinion. Which Manchester City will be very happy to see, because Manchester City are the team currently chasing down Chelsea for the WSL. As this corner will be taken, it's a ball into the area. It's a header one for Chelsea. And helped away by Carnrid. Only as far as Payne here for Everton. Midway side the Chelsea half. She's got Lauren James closing her down. She finds Kuhl. Keeps the ball moving here for Everton. Not got many options in front of her. She has to go back here to the halfway line for Stenovic. But Everton are still able to keep the ball here, though, which is what you like to see. There's, I think, an Everton player who's just struggling there. Not sure who it was. Kuhl is the player struggling at the moment. And the game has just stopped. The referee blew the whistle. I think she's just going to try and run this off here. Catherine Kuhl, on loan from Arsenal, joined Arsenal in January last year, and she's been part of the Denmark senior squad at international level from March 2021. She's only 20 years old now, so she's been part of the Danish setup since around 17, 18 years old. And we're back underway. Piemonte on the halfway line, dispossessed by Bjorn. And Lupot goes back to Carter, and it's Chelsea to get back in possession here. And we talk about Everton usually not having the possession, and for Chelsea, they're always the team in possession. They've had the majority of the possession in every game they've played so far this season in the WSL. The lowest ever possession they had so far this season was in their 4-1 away defeat to Arsenal, where they still had 52% of the ball. So it is a game where you would expect Chelsea to dominate the ball and Everton to sit back. And that's the way it's been at the moment. But Everton have had their moments going forward. I've been impressed by them so far, especially against a team like Chelsea who've got so much quality. It's Lauren James, early cross into the box there, looking for Ramirez, goes all the way through, instead to the far post, towards Wrighton, who's already got one goal tonight from the penalty spot. Tried to add to that with a diving header. Lauren James received it on this right-hand side, on the angle, went for an early cross. It's an inviting one, it bounced on the penalty spot, all the way through to the far post there towards Wrighton, who threw herself at it, but couldn't quite direct it on target, and it remains Chelsea 1, Everton 0 here at Kings Meadow. As Chelsea are looking to make it 8 wins in a row, as Lauren James is down here for Chelsea. Not quite sure what's gone wrong here, because she just put that cross into the box. I think they're going to show a replay of this penalty. Yep, I just really don't understand how she's given that a penalty. She's given a few yellow cards out. One was given for the penalty against Wheeler, and then another one was given to the goalkeeper for a little bit of dissent. Well, that was a huge call from the referee, Emily Heaslip. For me, it's not a penalty because basically it's in the area. She makes a big tackle, Wheeler, to win the ball originally, and then she gets it out of her feet, and it's the touch out of her feet just gets away from her a little bit. So Carnrid thinks it's an opportunity to come in and nick the ball. She tries to hurry the ball away, poking it, and she pokes the ball away first, gets the ball first, clearly, then just catches Carnrid on the follow-through. I just think it's harsh. She cleared the ball first, and then, caught the player, which can happen. It's nothing malicious. But the referee decided to give a penalty, which was a big call. Well, there's no VAR in the WSL, so the decision made is what stands. Because Lauren James is back to her feet and she's jogging off to the near side here, so looks like she should be okay to carry on here, Lauren James, who's in the goal-scoring form of her life at the moment. 11 goals in her last 6 WSL games, scoring a hat-trick in November against Liverpool and then scoring a hat-trick in January against Manchester United at Stamford Bridge. So we're eventually going to get the game restarted here with a goal kick for Everton. Be taken by the goalkeeper Brosnan, who plays it short, and we're back underway here. It's now with the goalkeeper again, inside her 18-yard box, playing it to her right to Van Havermaet. Now into the goalkeeper again of Brosnan. She's looking to go long, which she will do. Towards the Everton right-hand side, Piemonte does flick the ball on, but it's collected for Chelsea by Charles. Back here to Bjorn, who's been forced to go backwards here to Hampton in the 18-yard box for Chelsea. So they've won the ball back and they've kept it as well. Hampton again on the ball, clipping out to the Chelsea right, finding Lawrence, takes a heavy touch forward, but it works for her nicely and it drops through for Cuthbert, who looks for a ball in behind. It's a fantastic weighted pass through for Carnrid, who will keep it in on the byline on the right-hand side, lifts across into the hands of the goalkeeper of Courtney Brosnan. And that was a chance there for Chelsea on the break. Great ball forward there by Erin Cuthbert. She's an all-rounded midfielder. She's fantastic, the Scottish midfielder. Finding Johanna Ritten Carnrid, but a cross wasn't quite good enough into the 6-yard box, straight to the goalkeeper. As she sends it long forward. Header won by Lou Polt, volleyed forward here for Everton. Header away though by Bjorn for Chelsea, nodded out wide left by Wrighton to Charles, and then back into Bjorn, and again it's Chelsea in possession, who won the league by 2 points last season, Chelsea, and I think it will be a similar story this time out, this time going head-to-head with Manchester City, who had gone to the top of the table after their 2-0 win against Leicester at home. But Chelsea, with this lead, have put themselves back on top of the WSL, as Chelsea struggled to clear their lines properly here. And Everton just run the ball out of play on that far side. It will be a throw in here for the home side. Heather Payne has gone down as play continued for a few seconds as the players didn't realise it'd gone out for a throw-in. So she's just getting herself back to her feet. Throw-in taken to Lou Pultz, back into Charles, who charges towards the halfway line and finds a pass through for Ramirez, looking for James, cut out midway side the Everton half here, and the away side have the ball back here with Stenovic, caught in possession by Ramirez. That's a risky play from the centre half. It's now Myra Ramirez. Now Cuthbert midway side the Everton half, going out to the near side here to Ashley Lawrence, takes a touch forward, looking for a few options here, the number 12. She goes down the line herself towards the corner flag. Can she work across? Trying to go backwards here. And the pass goes out of play. Throw-in for Everton. Well dealt with there by the away side because Ashley Lawrence was looking to try and get that cross into the box, but she wasn't given any sort of room. Down the Chelsea right-hand side. And Everton can try and throw it down the line. Kept in by Piemonte. Loses out though to Carnred. Heavy touch is lost, but then she wins it back there. Off Payne. Charles out to the right to Lou Pultz. She's outside the area towards the byline. She can just about work across into the far post where it goes all the way through. It comes off Carnred and straight through to the goalkeeper of Brosnan, who wants to try and get this ball dealt with quickly. Can't quite do so. She has to just hold the ball in her hands and waits for Everton to get back into position. To the goalkeeper on the ball. Bouncing it multiple times. And she'll roll it in front of it. Just outside of her 18-yard box and plays it down the Everton left. Can they win the flick on again? Piemonte does win a flick on there, but doesn't quite find an Everton player, who will then try and go over the top here looking for Ramirez. And it goes straight through for the goalkeeper. Not been the greatest of first starts for Myra Ramirez. I've not really seen too much from her that shows that she should be a world record signing in the women's game. And obviously it's only a second game for Chelsea, so that might be a bit harsh, but not seeing a great deal from her at the moment. It's a bit scrappy in the midfield, and the foul goes against Lauren James, who I don't think agrees with the decision, but that's what the decision will be. It's a free kick for Everton. They'll send it quickly out towards the left-hand side. It's flicked on by Madsen. Can't keep it in on the near side. Thrown for Chelsea inside their own half. As I'm presuming we'll get quite a few minutes added on. Just a couple of stoppages here and there. Probably get 2 or 3 minutes. As Chelsea go back here to Jess Carter. And across the 18-yard box to Bjorn. 4 minutes have added on time. I was wrong. Not 2 or 3. It's the 4 minutes added on. It's with the goalkeeper Hampton for Chelsea. To Bjorn in a left-back position. Drives it forward 10 yards and plays it down the line. Cut out by a header. And then she heads it forward herself here, Bjorn, and can't find a Chelsea player. Instead finds Wheeler. It's now Madsen. Goes back here into Benison. On the Everton right-hand side. Needs to keep the ball moving if possible, because she's been closed down by Wrighton. It's now with Stanovic on the left-hand side. Just about finds Galli in a left wing-back position here, the Italian. Goes inside nicely to Kuhl. Can dart away from Cuthbert. Forward to Piemonte. Tackle by Cuthbert. Loose ball drops to Charles at left back. He then goes forward and down the line to Lauren James. He's just peeled out to a wider area. Tries to go around the outside of Van Havermaet. Ball is poked away from her by the Belgian international. And it'll be a throw-in for Chelsea. Just inside their own half on the far side. It will be taken by number 21, Niamh Charles. loses out after receiving the pass back from the throw-in. And Everton are back on it, but then they lose it. Good strength there from Ramirez, playing it through to Carnrid in the box on the right-hand side, being forced wide here. So, needs to work a pass here. Does do so back to Ramirez. Back to goal. Plays back out to the right to Lawrence. Good forward play there from Ramirez. Lawrence crosses. It's a header one. And away for a corner for Chelsea. Well dealt with there by Megan Finnegan. He signed a new 3-year deal back in April 2023. Was once a midfielder before being made into a centre-back. The 5'9" academy graduate. Got just under 2 minutes left to play in this first half. Chelsea lead for a penalty kick. Ball goes into the far post. Header won by an Everton player. Only as far as Cuthbert at the far post, who goes to the edge of the area here. To Lawrence. Crosses with a weaker left foot, and it nearly goes through towards Bjorn. But it's gone into the very thankful hands of Brosnan in the Everton goal. And they want to try and start quickly, and she'll roll it out here to Stenovic. Benison on this near side. Looking forward for Piemonte up front. Finds her on halfway. It's now with Catherine Kuehl, who returns it to Benison. To a right here to Wheeler. Gets away from Cuthbert. Alan Lauren James and plays it forward to Kuehl. But she wins a free kick there, Wheeler, as she was brought down from behind by James. And she quickly plays the pass to Megan Finnegan at the back, and it's still with Everton, midway inside their own half. Goes forward here to Wheeler. On once more to Piemonte. Flicks it out to a left here to Kuehl, then returns it to Piemonte. Back out to the left. It's a challenging ball, that for Madsen. It's had a bit too much height on it. She couldn't quite bring it down in the final third, and that will be a throw in a right-back position for Chelsea. Not the worst of ideas there from Martina Piemonte. Lawrence takes the throw-in down the line. Carnrid. Touch goes out of play. Throw-in for Everton this time in the Chelsea half. Will be taken by Hannah Benison, who gets the return by Kuehl and tries to find Kuehl a second time, but she's intercepted by Cuthbert, who goes back to Carter. Then on once more to the goalkeeper of Hampton, who's got loads of time in the 18-yard box to play it to a left here to Bjorn. As we've played the 4 minutes of added on time here at the end of the first half. And we're deep in the Chelsea half with their goalkeeper Hampton. Sprays it to the right to Lawrence, who controls the ball, and the referee blows for half-time here at Kingsmeadow. It's been a game where Chelsea lead at half-time, 1-0. Penalty from Guro Wrighton in the 27th minute. And it's been more even than you'd expect. Chelsea have been a little bit off the boil in the defensive department, looking a little bit shaky at times. Everton have definitely held themselves in a good position in this game. But the penalty kick came in quite controversial circumstances. Ramirez, the new signing, went down the right-hand side, pulled it back towards Wrighton, who was tackled fairly by Claire Wheeler. And as she tried to clear the ball, Wheeler, she poked the ball first, then caught the player. And according to the referee, that was enough for a penalty kick, which was dispatched by Guro Wrighton. It was her second goal of the season in the WSL, her first since October, away at Manchester City. And from then, even though they've not had a shot on target yet, Everton, they've definitely made themselves known in this game. They've been able to win 4 corners. They've had a few half chances. A big half chance came at 1-0 down, a little bit after it. I think where at the far post, Aurora Garlick for Everton put the ball over the bar from a couple of yards out after a fantastic ball across the box by Ricky Madsen, who's been Everton's best player for me so far, the new signing from North Carolina in January. But at half-time here at Kingsmeadow, Chelsea are back top of the WSL as they lead by 1-0 against Everton. Thanks to everyone who has been here for the first half. Make sure you come back for the second, because why would you listen to the first half and not want to know what happens at the end? So make sure you're back in around 15 minutes for the second half, as it is currently 1-0 to Chelsea. Like I say, I still don't think that's a penalty for me in that first half. And even though Everton haven't tested Hampton in the Chelsea goal, they've not had a shot on target. They've built well with the ball, going from the back to the front line. Obviously no goals have come from it, but they've worked quite a few corners, forcing headers behind for set pieces. But they just need to try and work the goalkeeper, Hannah Hampton, more if possible. But they have kept themselves well within this game, Everton, and I've been impressed by them so far. But the main thing for Chelsea at the moment, I don't think they'll care too much during the game that they are not playing well. I think at this point they just need to get the result if possible. Get the 3 points and move on, then assess the performance afterwards. But surely Emma Hayes is in there now, telling the Chelsea players that first half just wasn't really good enough. They didn't do anything like necessarily bad, but just nothing necessarily outstanding to the Chelsea level that you would expect. This is pretty much a 0-0 game, really, isn't it? It's just the fact that Everton conceded quite a harsh penalty is the reason that Chelsea are ahead at the moment, which is surprising because Chelsea are 7 wins in a row at the moment in all competitions. They're full of confidence, but they're just playing like I don't know, like just almost like they're just expected to win. So they're kind of playing first, second gear a little bit when, again, in the WSL, you've got to be on it every game. You can't take any team for granted and think you're going to get a easy guaranteed 3 points. I think Lauren James has been non-existent. Myra Ramirez, the new striker, she struggled. The left and the wingers have got on the ball a little bit, but I wouldn't say there's been anything outstanding. Ritten Carmrid and Gura Wrighton. And the two main players who are trying to make it work for Chelsea is in that midfield area where they've got Melanie Leupolz and Erin Cuthbert. And they're the ones who are trying to really make the game flow for Chelsea. And I just don't think it's a very vintage Emma Hayes performance so far. Obviously, that can change in the second half. But when these two sides met last season at Kings Meadow, Chelsea were already 5-0 up at half-time in that 7-0 win. They scored 2 goals late on in the second half through Harder, and Cuthbert got 1 in the second minute of added on time. And, are we seeing enough from Everton to believe that they could score and level the game up? Maybe not. They're getting themselves forward, but they're not necessarily looking like they're going to score. And, they're playing... And what I like about Everton at the moment, from what I'm seeing from them, they're not phased with the fact they're playing Chelsea. They're still playing the same way that they play all the time, very expansive, playing out from the back, taking risks, and all the risks have pretty much worked. They've not really been caught out too many times in dangerous areas, really, that I can think of. I don't remember a time where I've had to, raise my voice because they've lost it in a bad area. They're going to analyse the penalty now. I can't hear what they're saying, and I'd love to know what people think. But it was good work, to be fair, from Ramirez down that right-hand side, getting away from the Everton defender of Stenovic. And I just think Wheeler wins the ball first time beautifully. It's a great challenge on Wrighton. But then as she tries to clear it, Carnrid comes in. And for me, she wins the ball first. And then a second after, she then catches her on the follow-through. I just don't think that's a penalty. She wins it so cleanly at first. You can tell she's not trying to catch the player. She's not gained anything by catching Carnrid on the follow-through. At all. And there was a little bit of confusion from the Chelsea players. I don't think they quite believed that it was a penalty themselves. But the penalty was given and it was dispatched by Gura Wrighton. She did score the first goal when these two sides met last season at Kings Meadow, which was back on the 7th of May. So she has put them 1-0 up again in this fixture. Good penalty, bottom left corner, opened up the body. Guessed the right way, the goalkeeper. But she just dived a little bit too late in the end, trying to guess where Gura Wrighton was going to put the ball. Well, Everton have got to definitely take some positives. Like at home in the league, they've been useless. They haven't won any of their league games at home this season. They've played 6 and they've not won any of them. Their 3 league wins have come all the way from home to Liverpool, Aston Villa, and West Ham. Who, yes, Aston Villa and West Ham are nearer the bottom, but they're winning away at Liverpool, who are having a good season this year. That's a good result. So they're obviously they're just better at playing away from home at the moment, and I've got nothing bad to say for the Everton performance overall. Yes, the final third stuff hasn't been good enough in terms of, really trying to score for say. But the way they've played out from the back, the way they've battled in the 50-50s with the Chelsea players, it's been pretty even, I think. In that department, in the central areas, you can tell that Chelsea have got better quality up front. But in fairness, saying that, I've been impressed with Martina Piemonte up front for Everton. She's been isolated up there on her own, and she's held up a lot of the balls that have come into her. She's flicked on a lot of the headers as well. Obviously being a little bit isolated up front because Chelsea don't want to commit too many players up front or going forward straight away. They want to try and make sure they are sure at the back so they don't get outnumbered. Because if you give the likes of Lauren James time on the ball, then that can only end in one way sometimes. But the second half will be getting underway very shortly. Make sure you do not go anywhere, as we will be bringing full live commentary of the second half here at Kings Meadow, where Chelsea are 1-0 up, and I wouldn't say the game's over. A mistake, a set piece, and Everton take it, and with the game straight back on. And Everton, to be fair, they've shown confidence in the game, so I have full belief that they'd be able to score if the opportunity came, another opportunity came. Because say if they were getting, say if they were just played off the park and they've only just stayed in it at 1-0, then if they were to get forward and have a chance, their confidence might not be there. But the fact that they should be going into the half-time thinking, we're well in this game, that'll give them confidence. So when they do get the opportunity, they won't be nervous because they'll be feeling confident and not feeling down because they're getting played off the park. So if the opportunity arises to the right player, then there's a chance, because Everton have got the players. They've got a good squad. I like the squad that they've got. I really do. The likes of Hannah Bennison, who's not quite got into the game so far, the number 10, who's, by the way, joined back in August 2021. She was one of the most exciting talents in world football when she signed. She signed for 6 figures, a 6-figure fee, and a substantial one, it said, online. And it's just obviously not quite worked this season. She's yet to score in the WSL. She has got 1 in the League Cup and a 5-1 defeat to Leicester in the 21st of January. She did score 3 times last season in the WSL, 1 in a away win against Liverpool in September. But she made a senior debut at Rosengard, the team she joined from to join Everton, Hannah Bennison. She made a senior debut at 15, April 2018. That's ridiculous. So she's clearly got it. She's a fantastic player. It's just not quite worked out how she would have liked it to at Everton at the moment. I think Catherine Cool on loan from Arsenal, that's a terrific signing. She's shown her quality so far today when she's been on the ball. Not quite worked 100%, but you can see the quality she has when she gets on the ball. And the best player for me has been Ricky Madsen, the Danish winger out there, out wide. She joined on the 13th of January, and she said that I've been eager to get to this club and play in this league. So obviously she's very happy that she's been able to get into the WSL. And she did play at the World Cup in the summer for Denmark, Ricky Madsen. She spent last season at North Carolina, where she joined from, and also had a stint at Melbourne Victory as well during last season. And I find it very hard to believe that Everton will be, will come near relegation. They're 5 points off relegation at the moment, but that is to Bristol, who are on 6 points at the moment from their opening 13 games. So I doubt they'd not pick up enough points to keep away from Bristol. I think they'll be absolutely fine. I think they've just got to focus on trying to build for next season and get it right. And try and get back up towards the mid-table spots, because that's where they finished last season. Everton finished 6th, but it's interesting because the last time they finished decently in the league, bar last season, they finished 5th in the 2020-2021 season, which is obviously a good finish for Everton. The season after, they finished 10th. And it seems like it's a running theme, because now they've had another good season where they finished 6th that time, and now they're 10th the next season after. So it looks like they have a good campaign, and then it kind of all goes down again. Then they've got to try and build it up, and then it comes down. Right, I don't know what you'll say. I'm just going to time you out. But the second half will be getting away a couple of minutes' time. We did have 4 minutes added on there at the end of the first half, so we will get we'll have to wait a little bit longer for the second half to get underway. I think what Chelsea will be aiming for, I mean, they'll be aiming for it anyway, obviously, but not to state the obvious, but an early goal in the second half would do them absolutely wonders, to give themselves that 2-goal cushion. And if they give themselves a 2-goal cushion, I don't think there's any way back here for Everton. I'm not saying that because they're not playing well enough to score twice. I just don't think they have the quality of players to be able to score twice against this Chelsea team, who are obviously so good all over the pitch. But we have got commentaries coming up in the next 3 days. Tomorrow we are covering Brentford at home to Manchester City in the Premier League. On Tuesday we are covering Rangers against Aberdeen in the Scottish Premiership. And on the Wednesday we are commentating on the FA Cup 4th round replay between Chelsea and Aston Villa, and that is the male teams. So we're covering Chelsea again, but their men's team, who fell to a pretty poor defeat in the end to Wolverhampton Wanderers today in the Premier League. Pochettino coming under quite a lot of pressure at the moment, as it's just not quite working, is it, for him at Chelsea? As both sets of players are back out here for the second half. As it will be Everton to kick right to left this half, and Chelsea left to right. Needs a much improved performance in this second half for Chelsea, who are quite fortunate to be ahead for a penalty in the 27th minute, scored by Guro Reiten. There is the Everton manager, Brian Sorensen, who joined July 2022. And he's only ever scored once against Chelsea in the 3 games he's come up against them. And that came in the first game of last season between these two in mid-October, where Everton were beaten by 3-1 at home. And the goal was actually scored by Buchanan for Chelsea. It was an own goal, so he's actually not had one of his own players score against Chelsea before, so that's not the greatest of stats, really. As we will be getting back underway here. Like I say, Chelsea right to left, Everton left to right here. It'll be Chelsea to kick us off, with Lauren James waiting for the referee's whistle, which has been blown. Lauren James goes back here to Bjorn, sends it forward. It's one towards the edge of the area, cleared to Leupold, midway inside the Everton half, forward to Ramirez, chested it down nicely, plays it out to the right to Lawrence, who can't quite take the ball under control, and Everton try and build out from the back here. Cleared forward towards Piemonte, comes off Jess Carter, throw in here for Everton, won there by Madsen, I believe. Throw-in taken. Wheeler. Tackled by Lauren James, so another throw-in in the Everton half. The throw-in goes into the Chelsea half. Headed away, though, by Carter. Controlled here by Carnrad. He tries to go across to the left-hand side and finds the ball behind Niamh Charles. But it will be kept in by the left-back on the near side. Goes back towards the edge of the area here to Bjorn, who goes into the 18-yard box and plays it across to Hampton, who will clear it forward for Chelsea. It's one up towards the halfway line, headed forward by Stanovic. It's now Kuhl. Down the left-hand side here for Everton, as they keep the ball and they go backwards to the halfway line to Finnegan. Wheeler. Last touch on the far side is off a Chelsea player, and that's Carmrid. So it'll be a Everton throw-in midway inside the Chelsea half. Taken quickly to Wheeler, who has possession of the ball here. Ball forward to Piemonte. Touches it, looking for Kuhl. Lupolt's got there first. Cleared by Carter. Up towards the right-hand side to Ramirez, who controls it well. Bodies one off the ball, but then loses it the second time. Wheeler down the line. Cut out, though, by Lupoltz in the end. Now Cuthbert on the halfway line. Across to the left-hand side here to Charles. Forward to Wrighton, and then back to Bjorn in the back line here for Chelsea. Lawrence, the right back, getting down the line, but it's a short pass straight to Everton. It's just not quite working, or Galley overruns it, but the tackle and the loose ball drops here to Kuhl, who dribbles past one player, and then plays it forward to Galley, who needs to release the ball. She's caught, though, by Lauren James, and that'll be a free kick. About 10 yards inside the Chelsea half, and she'll be helped back to her feet by Lauren James there. Aurora Galley, who won 4 Serie A championships at a time at Juventus before leaving for Everton in July 2021. But I'm sure when Catherine Kuhl returns back to Arsenal from a loan spell, she's got to be involved next season. She's clearly got it. She's a fantastic player. Obviously just needs the game time at Arsenal. As we restart with Everton, midway inside their own half, in the possession with Finnegan. Going to go for a ball out towards the left-hand side. Header won there by Carnrid. As far as Stenovic for Everton. Madsen can't find the return pass to Stenovic. Galley's clearance deflects back forward here for Chelsea, and they're in behind here with Lauren James on the right-hand side. Wheeler's coming back to tackle her, and she tackles her superbly. Wins it off the Chelsea forward on the edge of the area, and Everton can build it forward here. Can they make something work? Catherine Kuhl on the halfway line. She's got options to her right and plays it into the path here of Benison. Into the final third. Goes back here to Van Havermaet. Wheeler. Now Kuhl. Keeps it away from Lupoltz. Goes back towards the halfway line now to Finnegan. Van Havermaet. Down the line for Payne. Neve Charles on her back, and she has to go into her own half to pass it into Van Havermaet. Making a 49th WSL appearance tonight. The Belgian midfielder who's playing at the back tonight. Majority of those appearances did come for Reading. Benison turns away from Cuthbert and plays it forward here for Piemonte, who keeps it under control nicely and plays a pass here into Galley. Tackled by Lawrence, but it goes to Benison, who goes in behind and over the top to the left-hand side here. Chance here for Everton. Can they work the crossing? They can do, but it's headed away by Carter. Carmrid at right back. Chops beyond Madsen. And dribbles away from her nicely and plays it down the line here looking for James. Cut out by Wheeler. Charging forward. And here is Wheeler on the ball. Time and space to work the crossing. It's a floater and it's gone over Piemonte, and no one was making a run at the far post, so it was easily collected by Hannah Hampton. Again, a good positive start for Everton, 5 minutes in. Showing that they can play, they can keep the ball, and they can work crosses into the box. A Chelsea build from the back inside their 18-yard box with Jess Carter. Across to Bjorn. It's now with the goalkeeper Hampton being closed down here and clears it. Has to. Forward. A header one for Everton, a header Ramirez. Volleyed by Charles towards Cuthbert, who can find Lupoltz in her midfield, but she's tackled there by Madsen. Loose ball drops here to Lawrence. Down the Chelsea right here to Carnrid. Midway side her own half. Still a lot of work for Chelsea to do to get it forward. And Lawrence will do that by dribbling forward with the ball and laying it off behind her to Cuthbert. Switches out to the left here to Charles and then back into Bjorn. And Chelsea just stuck in their own half at the moment. It's Erin Cuthbert playing out to the left there to Charles. Still in the Chelsea half. They're doing well, Everton, to keep them away from their goal. There's Cuthbert, bit of skill, taking out 2 Everton players to play the ball to Charles. James first time to Wrighton in the final third. Tries the crossing. Can the corner be avoided? No, it can't. Her low ball was deflected off Van Havermaet. Out for a corner on the near side for Chelsea. And I think the biggest compliment I can give this Everton side, I don't think they've had a bad performer in the team. Everyone's been at a good, solid level. They've just unlucky with that penalty going against them in the first half. Thank you to everyone who is here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. If you want to become a member and be the first to be a member, that would make my day. You don't have to. There's no absolute issue. I'm not forcing anyone to spend money. But the option's there. And it would help grow the channel out. But absolutely no pressure if not. It's from that corner. Everton defend it well. And it's back in their possession with Finnegan. Across to Brosnan, the goalkeeper. He's got a bit of time. Goes to a left here. To Stanovic. Back to the goalkeeper, Brosnan. To the right to Finnegan. Being closed down by Lauren James. Just about moves it away from Lauren James and clears it, but not very far. Cuthbert. Across to her right here. To Carmrid. On the edge of the area. Left foot. Lays it back off for Cuthbert. 25 yards out. Sprays it out to the right-hand side. It's to Lawrence. He's got forward from right back. She crosses into the area. Header one from an Everton player. Drops to the edge of the box to Leupolz, who sends that ball flying over the crossbar and over the stand. And into the car park, I think. And over and out for a goal kick. Nice ball there from Cuthbert. Lawrence with a decent cross. Header won by Wheeler. And it dropped to the edge of the area to Leupolz, who latched onto it first time. And didn't quite control the finish. And over the bar it went in the end. Can Everton produce an upset? I'm not saying they will, but they can possibly. They're well in the game. They're playing well. They're just not quite being dangerous enough in the final third, but their midfield play and keeping the ball for a decent periods of time has been impressive against this Chelsea side away from home. And they're playing out from the back here. It's risky. It's a short ball by Wheeler, but it's kept alive and kept away from the Chelsea players. And it's kicked off. I think that was Leupolz there by Galley. Maybe a throw for Everton in the left-back position, taken quickly by the Italian into Wheeler, who goes over the challenger, Lauren James. Last touch off the Everton midfielder, so it's a throw for Chelsea, taken quickly by James to Cuthbert. Goes out to the left there to Charles, midway side her own half, in a central position. Has to go back to the halfway line to Carter. It's now Lawrence, the right-back. Cuthbert, forward, towards Ramirez, where she can control it eventually, keeping it away from Finnegan. It's now back in the Chelsea half with Carter. And then back once more to Hannah Hampton. 23-year-old goalkeeper. Interesting fact about Hannah Hampton. She learned sign language so she could communicate with her cousin, Ethan, who is deaf. I think that's really cool. So Hannah Hampton, the Chelsea goalkeeper, can communicate in sign language. I think that's just a really cool thing to know and learn. And I'd like to do it myself, really. As the goalkeepers come out here, afar, outside of the area. Lauren James goes around her. The angle's tight, so she tries to cross. And Van Havermaet is the one to clear it behind for a corner. Very risky play from the goalkeeper coming out of a goal that far. Especially trying to meet Lauren James. It was a ball over the top there. It went over the head, I think, of Finnegan. And Lauren James picked it up. The goalkeeper came for it. Got nowhere near it. Thankfully for the goalkeeper, Lauren James was quite wide. So she was on a tight angle, so had to cross, and from that corner, Neve Charles, heavy touch, trying to play for a goal kick. Yeah, risky that from the goalkeeper, Brosnan. But got away with it, as Lauren James is making a 60th Chelsea appearance tonight. Spent 2.5 years at the club already, joining from Manchester United, where she scored that latest hat-trick. As Everton play out from the back again, trying to go down the line. It deflects off a Chelsea player. And down the line, it goes beyond Lawrence, and she can see out for a throw-in on the halfway line for Chelsea. I think it was aimed towards Madsen then, who hasn't quite had the effect she did in the first half so far. But we are only 10 minutes into the second half. As Chelsea go back from the throw into Carter. It's now the goalkeeper, Hampton. Oh, free kick given on Carter as she released it. She was just caught late by an Everton player. Not quite sure why the free kick had to be given, because they still had possessions. But they've gone back over to that right-hand side and they've just played it straight over to the side there they had the ball originally, to Natalie Bjorn. And the press will be made for Everton. She beats the press by just going long up towards Lauren James, who can bring it down beautifully. Caught on the halfway line fairly, says the referee. The ball's been taken off her. And Everton try and get forward, but the loose touch there gives it away. Cuthbert wins it. Driving into the Everton half, playing it into the path here of Carnred. Chops onto a left foot, back onto a right foot. Met by multiple Everton players. It's laid off by Ramirez to Cuthbert. Leupolz on the edge of the box, can strike it. Blocked off Benison. Falls to right back Lawrence for Chelsea as they try and get it forward once again. Carnrid down the line for Cuthbert. Crosses, deflects, controlled by Finnegan, who has a bit of time in the area to play it down the left-hand side. Can Everton keep the ball here? Clearance is low towards Piemonte. Can't find the Italian striker. Goes through for Leupolz. And it's Chelsea back in possession in the Everton half. Down the right-hand side to Lawrence. Leupolz gets away from Piemonte. Forward here to Cuthbert. And this is a bit more like Chelsea, the way they're knocking the ball around here. A bit more confidently, it seems. Charles, ball over the top down the left-hand side. It's asking a loss of Wrighton. And that will go straight out for a goal kick. It's good thinking there by Niamh Charles to find Gura Wrighton in behind. But she's just overhit it ever so slightly. And we're going to get the first change of the game. There'll be Everton's number 11, Emma Bissell. And she'll be replaced by number 26. And that is Ricky Madsen. Just said it just then. She had a good first half, Madsen, getting on the ball on the left-hand side. But she's been a little bit non-existent in the second half. Not really been able to get on the ball as much. So she'll be replaced by Emma Bissell, who joined in the summer herself from Florida State. Came through the Manchester City Academy and left in 2020. She's a former England under-19 international. And the 22-year-old comes on for the last half an hour or so. Goal kick taken for Everton. It's a long one up to the halfway line. Goes over the head of Piemonte. He'll be chased down here by Bissell, but he'll work to Cuthbert. Goes back midway inside her own half here to Chess Carter. Now to Hampton in the 18-yard box. Piemonte will close it down. She'll play it forward though, the goalkeeper to Leupolz. And back to Carter. That's a very heavy touch. Just about keeps it away from the Everton player. Then goes back to Hampton. It's now Bjorn, the left centre half. It's now to the left back of Charles. Inside to Leupolz. Misplaced pass towards Wrighton. Thrown for Everton. And they've won that throw-in through fantastic pressing. And it's going to be Benison to take the throw-in. Headed away by Leupolz. Cuthbert lifts it down the line. Cleared away by Van Vermaat. Well, as far as Cuthbert in the midfield in her own half. That's now Bjorn. Finds Leupolz. Looking out to the right wing here towards Myra Ramirez, who's being pulled by her shirt. But the advantage will be played here. And she enters the box here. Can she find the right pullback? She can do the right pullback. And that's got to be finished there by Carnrid. But she fires it over the crossbar. That's a huge chance. Really well played there by Myra Ramirez. Just using her upper body strength to keep Stenovic off the ball, who was trying to pull her down with her shirt. But Ramirez just kept going. Used a burst of pace as well. Pulled it across 10 yards out. Dead centre in the box. Carnrid tried to sweep it across the net into the left corner of the goal. But I don't know what she got wrong there. I don't know if she just leant back ever so slightly or just got a foot too far under it, but whatever the case was, she's fired it over the crossbar and she should have really scored it. Remains Chelsea 1, Everton 0. That is a big chance there for Johanna Ritten-Carnrid, who is looking for a first goal since that 4-1 defeat in the WSL to Arsenal. But it was a great run from Ramirez, who's had her joy down the right-hand side, really. That's where she's been best, most effective for Chelsea in this game. There's Chelsea on the ball, halfway line with Bjorn. Up to the left-hand side to Cuthbert. Back into their own half to Bjorn. Chelsea have just got to keep this at 1-0 for as long as possible, and the chance may appear at any moment. I mentioned it at half-time. It could be through a mistake, a set piece, or anything. Ball over the top to Lauren James. Oh, it's perfect. Lauren James in the box. Goes across goal and puts it wide. Very unlike the recent Lauren James we've been seeing. The one who scored 11 in the last 6 in the WSL. It's a superb ball over the top, just down the left-hand side where Lauren James had just peeled out to. And she was aiming for the far corner like any good forward does. Go across the goal. And it's just curling away from that far post. And wide it went. Another let-off for Everton as Chelsea is starting to have more chances more frequently at the moment in this second half. Good ball over the top. I think it was by Bjorn, who's found Lauren James quite a few times in previous games with a ball like that over the top. And usually Lauren James has been finishing them. But not that time. As Chelsea win it back. Good interception by Leupolz in the midfield. Cuthbert on halfway. Goes back to Carter. Across the right-hand side here to Lawrence. Cuthbert in the midfield again. Centre circle. Lifted ball out to the right-hand side. It's a perfect weighted pass as well. Finds Carmrid. Lays it off to Ramirez. Who then finds Cuthbert. Plays it to a left to Bjorn. Charles is there and she finds Charles. Plays it into the path of Brighton. Towards the byline. Can she work across? It's a low one. Cut out at the near post. And then the foul is made by Lauren James there on Justine Van Havermaet. And that'll be a free kick for Everton. She intercepted the cross Van Havermaet there. And then won the free kick off Lauren James. So overall, good defending there from the Belgian. Feel like Chelsea could have had a second by now. That chance through Carnrid and then a minute later through James. Feel like one of them's got to go in, really, for the home side. Flicked on by Piemonte. Through here. Chance for Everton. Can they make the most of it? It's Payne. Goes to Benison. In the final third on the right-hand side. Just outside the 18-yard box at the moment. Goes across to a left to Payne. Back to goal. Finds Kuhl. Back to Payne again. Out to the right-hand side. Benison. Crosses off the hand of Charles. Nothing given from the referee. It was a very close distance. And then Charles tackles Benison but can't keep it in with the clearance. And it will be a throw in here for Everton. Decent bit of play there from Heather Payne to get Everton up the field and to keep the ball after the flick on from Piemonte. Benison wants a bit of movement there. I'm sure that was a foul throw, but nothing's been given. Goes back to the halfway line now to Finnegan. To a left to Stenovic. It's now with Finnegan again. 25-year-old, already making a 112th appearance in the WSL. Galley gives it away in the midfield. That's really sloppy. Cuthbert out to the left and right, and just about enters the Everton half and plays it through and in behind for Lauren James. Flag stays down. She's in the final third. She enters the area. She's on a tight angle, so she'll go for a cross to the far post. Controlled by Carnrid. Just gets away from her ever so slightly, so forced backwards here to Lawrence. Back to Carnrid again outside the area this time. Tries to take on Bissell. Does do so and works a low ball into the area, and it's dealt with by Wheeler in the 6-yard box. No one attacking it for Chelsea. And Wheeler can bring it away here. Going out to the right-hand side to Benison. She was caught late there by Lauren James. And that'll be a free kick for Everton. How no one's got on the end of that cross, I do not know. It was a great one run by Carnrid, as Lauren James has been booked, actually, for that foul on Wheeler. Going for the ball, in fairness there, James, but just not quite getting there first and then catching the player once the ball had gone. But it's brilliant play to take on Bissell there by Carnrid. And he goes right across the 6-yard area and no one attacks it. No one. Which surprises me. You feel like someone's got to commit. So booking for Lauren James. That'll be a little bit of frustration as well, because I know Chelsea are winning, but Lauren James isn't having her greatest game. And, with the form she's in at the moment, she expects, obviously, the highest level of performance from herself. Throwing down the line by Payne. Flicked on by Piemonte. Only as far as Cuthbert on the halfway line. Turns away from Benison. Goes back here to Carter. Across to Bjorn. 25 minutes left to play in this one. Still all to play for at the moment. Yes, Chelsea have the lead, but I've been really impressed with Everton, and I am gobsmacked there where they are in the league. 10th place at the moment. They can play some good football when they want to. Leupolz out to the right-hand side. It goes behind Carnrid, but she can keep it in. Plays it forward towards Cuthbert. Cut out there for Everton. And they get it forward to their striker, Piemonte. Bissell. Ball forward. Just intercepted too easily there for Leupolz. Then forward to Brighton in the centre circle. Tackled fairly there by Van Havermaet. And it's now taken away for Bissell. Out to the right here to Payne. Tries to go inside towards Garley, I think that was actually. Went behind her and then Payne tackles Lauren James. That'll be a throw-in for Chelsea on the halfway line on this near side. I believe. Everton through. Lauren James got the last touch and the throw-in just about kept away from Cuthbert by Wheeler. who then tries to take it away from Cuthbert again, and she's fouled there. Claire Wheeler. And the manager for Everton, Brian Sorensen, this is how he described Claire Wheeler. He said she is one of the most consistent players he has ever coached, which is a huge compliment for Claire Wheeler, who's been at the club now since January of last year. She had a loan spell from the August to the January, and then the signing was made permanent in the January. And she's not scored yet for Everton, Claire Wheeler. But you can see how important she is in that midfield. Despite giving the penalty away, I still think that was a very harsh penalty, in fairness. As we're going to get a Chelsea change now. And it's going to be Fran Kirby to come on. She scored the first goal in the game in the week away at Paris in the Champions League. And Fran Kirby is going to replace, I think it's Joanna Rytting-Kaneryd. It will be the Swedish international. And Fran Kirby will come on, so I presume Lauren James will go out wide. And Fran Kirby will just play in behind Mayra Ramirez. So Claire Wheeler still getting some treatment after that just slightly late challenge from Erin Cuthbert. They really needed to be able to continue Claire Wheeler. That's how key she's been for Everton. She goes down again here. Hopefully that's just a tie of laces, I think. So we've got a quarter of the game left to play. Remember, commentating tomorrow as well. Brentford against Manchester City in the Premier League. She's hobbling off here, Claire Wheeler, with a boot in her right hand. Hopefully she can get that boot back on and get back on the pitch. Yeah, just sits down in the Everton technical area to get the boot back on. So we're going to eventually get this free kick taken here for Everton, who's still in this game. Tries to go up towards Piemonte, who again controls it, but then can't quite keep it away from Leupolz. He's bouncing in the air here and eventually drops here for Wrighton, the Chelsea player who's winning the game at the moment for them. Her pass is intercepted as she was looking for Ramirez. It's now Bjorn for Chelsea. Ball down the left-hand side. Dealt with for Everton. It's now Payne. Ball forward, deflects off Cuthbert, looking for Piemonte. It's back in Chelsea possession with 21 minutes to play. Can't quite see Claire Wheeler back on the field here for Everton at the moment. So it is 11 v 10. Ball down the right-hand side here for Chelsea. Well tackled. And the ball stayed in. Fran Kirby commits the foul there on Galley. And that'll be a free kick for Everton on the far side. Midway inside their own half. Still can't see Wheeler at the moment. No, I can't. Brosnan, the goalkeeper, just about gets it across before Lauren James can intercept. That is risky, but it worked. And Chelsea now need to deal with this ball forward towards the halfway line. Cleared away by Bjorn. Looking for Ramirez. Brosnan comes for it and catches it. Had to, the goalkeeper, because if Ramirez had got there first, then that was pretty much an open goal for her. The club record signing. 24 years old, Mayra Ramirez. Signs a 4.5-year contract. Obviously, she will be well aware that Emma Hayes won't be here next season for Chelsea. She has already scored 7 league goals this season in 12 appearances for Levante. 7 league appearances and scored 6 goals. 20 minutes to play. Everton in possession inside their own half. Cool on the ball. Forward here to Bissell. Tackle by Carter. Throw in for Everton just inside the opposition half here on the far side. It's definitely not been a game that I was expecting. But it's been a close game, and that's what I like to see. They lose it from the throw, and it's just too easy. Ramirez down the right-hand side. Good touch. Heavy touch. Can she get around Wheeler, who's back on the field? She can. Byline. The cross needs to be right. She goes down. Oh, and she gives a penalty. And I know exactly why the referee gave a penalty. The face pulled by Claire Wheeler when she made that challenge gave away the fact that she herself thought it was a penalty. 100%. Myra Ramirez, again, down that right, and that's where she's been most dangerous. Out wide, driving into the area. Claire Wheeler went in with the tackle, sliding in, got none of the ball, caught the player, down she went. And Claire Wheeler has conceded her second penalty of the game. She gave away the first one, which I thought was harsh. She's given away the second one, which isn't as harsh. She's lunged in, didn't get anywhere near the ball, caught the player of Myra Ramirez, and as she was waiting for the referee's whistle, she pulled her face where it almost gave away her opinion on the situation. She thought it was a penalty. The referee did as well. She's given this one. I think this one's more of a fair one to give, and it's a chance for Chelsea to double their lead. Both goals could be coming from the penalty spot. Both of them from Wrighton. Left-footed, same corner, same outcome. Rolls it into the bottom left corner. Chelsea have a 2-goal lead, and it's Guro Wrighton with the brace. That is her 40th Chelsea goal in her career. She's been at the club since the summer of 2019. They've both come from the penalty spot. They've both gone the same way. And Everton will be frustrated. Chelsea will feel relieved. And here at Kings Meadow, it is Chelsea 2, Everton 0. Thing is, with that challenge from Claire Wheeler, who's been so good today, and I know she's given away both penalties, but she's been really key in that Everton midfield. Myra Ramirez is going down that right-hand side. She's entered the box. She's going towards the byline, and the byline is the line that, if the ball goes across it, then it's out of play. She's coming up to that line. I don't think she needs to slide in there. If she just held the ground, stayed on her feet, even if Ramirez could have worked the cross in, I think Wheeler would have blocked it. I think she would have been in the way. But she obviously panicked, just went for the slide challenge, and yeah, she knew. She definitely knew it was a penalty. And what gave it away is the referee hadn't blown for the penalty before she pulled the face. She pulled the face of, oh no, I've given away a penalty, before it was given. And I think it made the referee's mind up, really. As Chelsea have a 2-goal lead now. Again, they've not been vintage Chelsea, and that's not vintage Chelsea, giving it away in their own half. Down this left-hand side for Galley. Forward for Bissell. Can she work across in the final third? Towards the corner flag. It's a low one to the near post. It's going to be dealt with by Carter before Piemonte can get there. She clears it long. Headed back forward, though, for Everton. Inside the Chelsea half. It's with Wheeler, who's given away both penalties so far tonight. Down the line. Good ball. Bissell on the ball. Turns away from Kirby. Now back into the Everton half here with Finnegan. To the left to Stenovic. Ball forward, deflects off Cuthbert. Finds Bissell, who goes over the challenger Lawrence. And that'll be a free kick for Everton on the left-hand side. Well won by Bissell. Just pulled down there by Ashley Lawrence, the right back. So again, it's about 30, 40 yards out. Far left-hand side, so too far away for a shot. But definitely on for the cross. This Myra is something. Yeah, she's been decent. She's not been great in the striker role, but when she's been found out wide in a winger role, she's been fantastic. On that right-hand side, when she's just peeled out, she's been a real threat. Pretty much providing. She won the second penalty herself, and the first penalty was from her cutback. As the ball goes in from the free kick, header won by Wrighton, cleared by Lauren James to the halfway line, where Everton volley it back forward down the right-hand side. Header won by Charles. And it drops to Cuthbert, who gets away from Cool. And it's a lifted ball out to the right, looking for Fran Kirby. It'll reach the number 14. He's got Galley closing her down. She plays it through for Lawrence. It's just a slightly overhit pass. And it can be cleared away for a throw-in the final third there by Wheeler for Everton. We've got 15 minutes left to play here. Ashley Lawrence with the throw-in. Finds Ramirez. Back to Lawrence again on this far side. It's now with the substitute, Fran Kirby. He's only got the 2 WSL goals so far this season. She got 6 last season, despite missing a big chunk of the season after being injured in the October. Ball over the top, down the left-hand side. Controlled by Wrighton, who is on a hat-trick. In the final third. 1-on-1 with Benison. Goes back here to Lauren James, about 30 yards from goal. She's going to clip it to the far post. It's an inviting cross, and it's been met. Was it met by Fran Kirby, or was it Galley on the defensive cover, prodding it back to a goalkeeper? I'm not too sure, but either way, it's gone back to the goalkeeper, Brosnan, for Everton. It's an inventive ball from Lauren James, who just stepped back a little bit, offered herself as a deeper option. Well onside there, Fran Kirby. And she was able to win the header, 6 yards out. But I think the flag went up for offside. She's well onside. Bad officiating there from the assistant referee on that far side. Nothing came of it, thankfully. Because if Fran Kirby had scored and that had been disallowed, that would have been a bad decision to have to look back upon for the assistant referee. But Everton have got it. With their right centre-back. Down the line it goes. Touch forward. Can't quite be kept in there by Van Havermaet. And it's a throw in for Chelsea on this near side. On the halfway line. It's going to be taken by the number 21 of Niamh Charles, who did play in the World Cup in the group stages against China for England. And she's just got the ball tucked under her arm here, as I think we're going to see a change for one of the two sides. It's going to be an Everton change. It's going to be, I think it's going to get both. I think we're going to get Everton and Chelsea. Waiting for the fourth official's board to go up. So I think we're going to get Lauren James coming off for COK New Skin. So it's not quite been Lauren James's night, not getting on the score sheet. She had scored 11 in her last 6, and she's gone without a goal tonight. And it's just a bit more of a solid option in the midfield of COK New Skin. And the second change, we're going to see Mayra Ramirez come off for Mia Official on her first Chelsea start. The world record signing in the women's game was a threat down the Chelsea right-hand side when she received the ball, making problems for Everton and creating 2 penalties. The first one, her cutback, caused the foul, and the second one, she was fouled herself. And on a hat-trick, how harsh is that? On a hat-trick, Gura Wrighton, the left winger, is going to be replaced by number 33, Aggie Beaver Jones, who spent last season on loan at Everton, scoring 3 goals, 2 of them in the WSL. And she also scored this season against Everton off the bench in that 3-0 away win in November. So triple change for Chelsea, where we've had James, Wrighton and Ramirez off for New Skin, Beaver Jones and Fischel. And Everton are going to make a change. So the Everton manager's been yellow carded here. There's a bit of confusion. I've got no idea what's going on. The assistant referee's getting involved. The fourth official doesn't know what's happening. I just think the Everton manager wants the change to be made. I don't know why that's taking so long. Eventually the board goes up. Claire Wheeler, who gave away both penalties, is being replaced here by number 47, Caroline Olsen, joined in the summer from Fortuna Urin for an undisclosed fee. 19 years of age. She turned 19 yesterday, and she's making her 11th appearance in the WSL. She has scored, in fact, this season, the attacking midfielder, in the FA Cup against Aston Villa. And we've also seen number 19, Heather Payne, come off as well for Lucy Hope, who was a Lucy Graham until December 2022, when she was married and she changed her name, and now the Everton manager's been sent off. No idea why. He has no idea. I've got no idea what's going on. But he got a yellow card just before when they were trying to make that double change, and that was the straight red. He looks bemused. I can't tell you what's going on. He must have said something, obviously, that's offended the assistant referee or the fourth official or the referee or whoever he may have said it to. I'm not quite sure where he'll go here. But he's been sent off. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. The Everton double change was taking a while, and there was something to do with the board getting it up for the fourth. I don't know. But he was given a booking for that, and then obviously he's just said something extra, and he's been sent off. He's walking somewhere. He'll be directed somewhere into the stands. But Everton have lost their manager, I'm presuming through something he said. And yeah, it's 2-0 Chelsea. Everton still got 11 on the pitch, but they are the manager down as Kirby plays down the line for New Skin here. Off the bench, Gets the ball in. It's a lifted ball to the far post. It's been nodded down towards Fischl. Can she strike it? She can. It's blocked. Second bite at the cherry. She puts it wide through a deflection. So it will be a corner for Chelsea. Well saved there by Brosnan. As Mia Fischl off the bench looking to score straight away. She's only got the 1 goal so far in the WSL, Mia Fischl. That came against Spurs in October at Stamford Bridge. It was well won at the far post there by Beaver Jones, finding Mia Fischl, whose second attempt was the closest, and that was the one that was sent away for a corner. First shot was blocked by Stenovic, and the second one was saved by the goalkeeper. And they've gone short here with the corner. It's now with Beaver Jones. Back out to the left wing here to Cuthbert, who will cross it in right-footed towards the far post. It'll be chased down by Charles, and she'll keep it in. And she'll go back this time as she is being chased down. She finds Carter. Back to Charles, and a cross looking for Lawrence. Just about beats Piemonte to it and clears it forward high for Chelsea. Mia Fischl can't win the header. She'll have a second go at it. She can't win the second header either. And it's out to the Everton right here for Benison. Loses out to Cuthbert. Ball forward here to Newskin. Fischl. First time ball in the box looking for Cuthbert, who will strike it into the bottom left corner. And Chelsea have a third. Everton are starting to collapse. Chelsea are starting to rise. And they are scoring the goals. And they've got their third through their captain for tonight, Erin Cuthbert. That's goal 57 for Chelsea. It's her third in the WSL. She's only scored 1 in the last 8. She had none in the last 3 in all competitions. Is now 6 for the season in all competitions. One back in the midfield. It was played nicely. Good assist by Mia Fischl off the bench to find the run of Cuthbert. I said it in the first half. She's just an all-rounding midfielder. She can do the lot. Newskin forward to Fischl on the edge of the area, who played it around the corner for the run of Cuthbert, who latched onto it on her right foot before it could be blocked there by Stenovic. It went beyond the goalkeeper of Brosnan. Bottom left corner. Goal for Cuthbert. And here at Kingsmeadow, it is Chelsea 3, Everton 0. And Chelsea are for sure going to be heading back to the top of the league. 3 points clear of Manchester City. And what was a decent, first 70 minutes for Everton is all really fell apart in the last 10. Conceding the second penalty and then losing the manager for a red card. And then they've just not been able to deal with the Chelsea subs that have only been on for 2 minutes. And it's a result which Chelsea will like as the Everton manager walks past the away supporters. Not quite sure how many they've brought. They don't even know where to send him here. There's nowhere to send the manager. He's just walking around the ground at the moment. As Chelsea have got it in the halfway line with Cuthbert, who's just scored a 57th Chelsea goal. Great numbers for the midfielder. Been here for so long. Coming into her 9th year at the club soon. 8th year, sorry. She joined in the summer of 2016 from Glasgow City. So just over 5 minutes of the 90 to play. Well done, Myra. This is just the start. Yeah, exactly. Only a second appearance for Ramirez. Obviously adapting to the English game. And I just be interested to see what Emma Hayes thinks of her performance. Because I think centrally she didn't do a lot. But it's when she was wide is where she was really effective. So, and we know Lauren James is pretty good up front herself. So she might see Myra Ramirez as a bit more of a versatile option. She can play up front, obviously we know that. But she could also maybe do a job out wide as well if needed. There's Chelsea, you're on the ball inside their own half. In the Everton half, sorry, on the far side. Ball deflects back to the feet of Charles, sorry. And it's now with the captain, Cuthbert. Out to the right-hand side here. Can we get a cross in here by Beaver Jones? The ball goes into the near post. Can't be met by Fischl. Cleared by Finnegan. Corner on the far side for Chelsea. Good run in there from Aggie Beaver Jones. Came through the Chelsea Academy. Signed a professional contract in July 2021 when she turned 18. And then spent last season on loan at Everton, where she just got the 3 goals, and she's already got 5 so far this season off the bench as the ball goes in from the corner, headed away to the edge of the area. Beaver Jones wants to shoot, she will. She drags it wide, and it can't be flicked towards goal by Fischl. And it'll be a goal kick for Everton. Thank you to everyone who has been here. It's been a fantastic stream, some really good numbers. I'll try and bring as many WSL commentaries as possible. I'll try and fit one in within the next week or so. And make sure you're here tomorrow. Brentford, Manchester City. Big Premier League game at the top of the table. As obviously Liverpool slipped up today at the Emirates, losing by 3-1. Cuthbert into the space here for Lawrence. Inside now. It's now Beaver Jones. Back to Cuthbert. On this far side for Chelsea. Into the final third. Plays it into Lawrence, who can work across it. Deflects it, loops it. Goes behind for another corner for Chelsea. It's been a very settled performance the last 15 minutes. They were definitely challenged in the opening 70 minutes in the game. Everton were really equal with them. The only thing that Everton really struggled with was creating the chances. They were battling well in the midfield. And defensively, they were dealing with Chelsea's attacks. It was just going forward. They couldn't really create any clear-cut chances as the corner goes in. Far post. Fischl with the header straight into the hands of Brosnan. Did well to win the header there, Mia Fischl. She's only 5'7". But she got up there. I think she got above Bissell for Everton at the far post, but couldn't find the back of the net. As Everton run out of pitch on the near side, that should be a throw-in. And it is. Couldn't quite be kept in there by Lucy Hope, the Everton substitute. He was part of Everton's captaincy group, one of 5 players who were a part of it. There's loophole to Spall over the top. Will be cleared by Finnegan. Out of play for another Chelsea throw-in on this near side. Midway side, the Everton half. But for Chelsea, their next WSL game is here at home to Manchester City. I will definitely look to try and bring you live commentary of that one. That's going to be a tasty one. They've got 2 cup games coming up. Chelsea, they've got the League Cup next week against Sunderland at home, and then they've got another home game in the FA Cup. That's against Crystal Palace. So this is one of 4 home games in a row for Chelsea in that WSL game on the 16th of February against Manchester City, who are currently 3 points behind them in second place. As we're going to get another Chelsea change here with 90 seconds of normal time to play. It's going to be Helena Cankovic, the Serbian, to come on. Her only start in the WSL this season, that was to Everton away in November, but she's not played any of the last... She didn't feature in any of the last 12 games, the attacking midfielder, before the last game in the Champions League against Paris away, where she played and got 2 assists. So Cankovic, who's been starved of minutes, replaces captain Erin Cuthbert, who scored the 3rd goal tonight. A fantastic finish in the area, finishing into the bottom left corner. As Everton have a throw in here near side, final third, with Lucy Hope to take, as she's waiting for the ball back from the crowd. Not got many options here, as she throws it down the line towards Piemonte, heads it in towards the area, controlled by Cankovic, finds Nuskin, who fires it out to the right-hand side to Lawrence. Good play there from Chelsea to win the ball back and keep it and break away. Thanks for the live commentary. Thank you very much. No problem. I've enjoyed the game. Like I say, it was a pretty close game, I thought, for the majority. But then Chelsea's quality took over in the end. As Beaver Jones just overruns it on that far side, trying to work it to the byline to get the cross in, but ran out of room in the end, as she was being followed all the way. And it's a goal kick for Everton, as we are going to find out added on time very shortly. We've hit the 90th minute as Everton try and play out from the back. And we're going to get 7 added on, because we did have a few stoppages, a few injuries here and there. There's Hope, kicks it off Charles. Throw in here for Everton as Lucy Hope tries to speed this up despite being 3-0 down. That's what you like to see, good mentality. Throws it to Piemonte on halfway, keeps it and plays it down the line. And it does deflect, so it'll be another throw in here for Everton. I think she's done herself well, Martina Piemonte, the Italian striker. Very isolated up front, and she's had to work off scraps, and she's not made a lot of it work. But you can't deny her effort. She's won a lot of her flick-ons, Piemonte. More with her feet, she's not been able to make it stick, but she has won a lot of her flick-ons, and she's not done too badly, in all fairness, if we're going to try and give Everton a few props. As Everton have it halfway line. It's given away by Galley. Forward by Leupolz to Fischl. She's got Kirby to her left. Finds Leupolz again. In the centre of the field here, just inside the Everton half. She spreads it out to the right-hand side here to Lawrence. Lifted ball over the top towards the box. It goes through and it nearly finds Newskin there. But the goalkeeper was quick off the line to collect it. Not a bad run there by Newskin. He was off the bench. The German international. Joined in the summer from Frankfurt, where she finished third in the Bundesliga, the Women's Bundesliga last season. Benison can't quite get on the end of that Finnegan pass, but it does deflect through to Hope. Gets away here from Leupolz and will charge forward here, Hope, into the Chelsea half. She's got Olsen to her right, tries to play it down the middle instead. And it deflects away and out for a throw-in for Everton, which will be taken quickly by Hope. And then it's cleared away again by Kirby. So another throw-in in the final third here for Everton as they going to look for a consolation goal. Which I'd say they probably, deserve it. Because it's hard to come to Chelsea and really make a game of it for the majority, which they have done. Hope throws it towards the byline. Benison gets there, works across, keeps it in, but it's dealt with at the near post. It needs to be cleared by Bjorn. It's not a great clearance, picked up by Hope for Everton. Forward, it's now with Piemonte. Tries to look for Hope, who made a run into the area, cut out by Charles, who can switch it out towards the right-hand side. Cleared forward by Stenovic, and then sliced and bounced beyond Jess Carter, who had to flick the ball over her head to clear. And then it comes off Kuhl. Back to Carter, who then clears it off Bissell. And that will be a throw-in for Chelsea in their right-back area on the far side. From the throw-in, they found Mia Fischl, who holds it up but can't find the run of Lawrence. Forward for Everton, deep inside the Chelsea half on the left-hand side. On the far side, they're going to work a crossing. It's a low one. It's not dealt with convincingly for the first time by Carter, but no one's around her, so she can have a second go at the clearance, which finds Fischl. Touches it down, but straight here for Stenovic, who tries to go backwards here for Everton. She does find Finnegan, who clears it off a Chelsea player, and it's a throw-in for Everton. Throwing down the line, cut out by Carter. Poke forward now here for Kirby, who crosses the halfway line. Charging forward here for Chelsea. Newskin's making a run in behind. Has she timed the run right? She'll get to the pass first and puts it wide. I'm not sure if the flag went up in the end or not. It was a good run by Newskin. Let's have a look. Kirby finding the run. Oh, I don't know from that angle. It's close. She slid there to get the ball ahead of the goalkeeper, and she kicked it wide. I do think that the flag went up, so it was offside. So if the ball had hit the back of the net, it wouldn't have counted. Hope flicks it away here for Everton. Loses out, though, to Charles. One back, though, given away by Chankovic for Chelsea. It's now Benison. He's got runs ahead of her. Piemonte to her right. Decides to not play it to her the first time. Finds Olsen instead. Back inside here to Benison. He's surrounded by blue shirts and tackled by Frank Kirby. Cleared in the left-back position by Charles. But only as far as Galley for Everton, who can't go forward with a pass, but she wins it back off Leupolz. It's now Everton again, with just under 2 minutes to play. Lucy Hope in the final third, being tracked by Kirby. It's now back here with Van Havermaet. Now on the halfway line here with Finnegan. Van Havermaet again. Olsen, Benison, back to Olsen again, down this right-hand side. She can work across in to the area. Header won by Lawrence and to the edge of the area. Here where Chelsea can try and break. Feeding it out to the left. It's a great ball. And Kirby will definitely keep that one in. Loads of room to run into down this Chelsea left. Goes to a right here to Beaver Jones, who can't get beyond two Everton players. Tackled there, and the ball runs through for Everton now. It's cool on the halfway line. Lifting it out to the right-hand side, cut out by Charles. Keeps it away from Olsen. And it's Chelsea back in possession in their own half. Good defending by Niamh Charles there. Chankovic plays it to a right here to Leupolt's ball. Deep to the far post, kept in by Kirby. Her cut back is deflected and cleared in the end down the line here for Olsen. He goes back into a defensive position here to Lucy Hope, who can clear the ball here for Everton. We've got 10 seconds left to play. Into the midfield to Benison. Edge of the area is Finnegan. We've played the 7 minutes now. And we will get the referee's whistle here at Kings Meadow. And Chelsea do what Chelsea do best at home. They win again. It is now 22 wins in a row in the WSL for Chelsea. And they are now 33 games unbeaten at home in the league. Their last defeat was back in February 2021. They simply do not lose here. And they very rarely drop points here. And the 3 points tonight puts them back to the top of the WSL. 3 above Manchester City, who they face next in the league at home on the 16th of February. That will be one of the biggest crunch matches of the WSL for some time. But it wasn't made easy by Everton. They had a very solid first half and they went behind with an unfortunate penalty given against them. Claire Wheeler poking the ball away, then catching Carnrid, the Chelsea winger, on the follow-through. And that was enough for the referee to give a penalty, and that was slotted home by Guro Reiten. And in the second half, for the majority, Everton stayed level with Chelsea, really made it hard for them, but they were 2 behind through another penalty, given away again by Claire Wheeler, but that one was a lot more fair than the first one. She went and followed Myra Ramirez, who was charging down the right-hand side, got towards the byline, she slid in when she probably knows she shouldn't have, caught the player, didn't get any of the ball, and that was definitely a penalty. And it was dispatched again by Guro Reiten from the spot. Same position, bottom left corner. She made it 2-0 with just about 20 minutes to play. That kind of killed the momentum and the balloon of Everton's chances of trying to get something from the game. And with 7 minutes of the 90 to play, Erin Cuthbert, the captain, charged into the area after receiving the pass from Mia Fishel, who played it around the corner. Right-footed finish into the bottom left corner, putting the icing on the cake for Chelsea as they win here against Everton. In a game they've had to fight hard for, but they've got their maximum reward. It's 3 points, and here at Kings Meadow it finishes Chelsea 3, Everton 0. I think credit, if you've watched the game, I think you should have the same opinion as me, and if you haven't watched it, you've got to just trust my opinion. I think that's a respectable performance from Everton. The only issue was going forward. They just couldn't create any chances in the final third. But in that midfield area and dealing with Chelsea's attacking display for the first 70 minutes, they did it perfectly. They were only 1-0 behind because of quite an unfortunate penalty. And they only scored the second penalty, Chelsea, in the 72nd minute. Once that penalty went in, the tide started to turn and Chelsea were the much better side. But for that opening 70 minutes, I know Everton didn't have a lot of shots. They only had 3 and they didn't have any on target. And that kind of shows on paper, it looks like they've battered Everton, but I really do think that Everton held their own for the first 70 minutes. The only issue is they just couldn't quite get in the final third enough. But in that midfield area and in their defence, I thought they were decently strong for the majority, but the quality of Chelsea shone through in the end. So Everton drop into 10th position after West Ham's win, shock win earlier on today. Against Arsenal at home, so that was a fantastic win for West Ham. That means Arsenal are in 3rd on 28 points. Manchester City are 2nd on 31. And Chelsea are above Manchester City by 2 goals on goal difference and 3 points on 34 points. And yeah, definitely look to bring live commentary of that one. So look out for that one in 2 weeks. Chelsea against Manchester City in the WSL. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's okay. How do you remember all the names? I've got all the names written here in front of me. Don't get me wrong, it was a little bit hard for the Everton players because quite a lot of them look quite similar. at times. So you've got to try and differentiate, look at their boots, see what colour boots they've got on, if they're different to the other players' boots, and obviously look out for the number as well. And yeah, I've got them all written down here. There's no way I'd remember it off the top of my head. I've got little stats. So any stats as well you heard during that game where you think, how does he know that? I don't remember it off the top of my head. I write them down. I've got notes here. I've shown it before, but here's one of the examples. That's the Chelsea starting 11 there. So there's all the starting 11, and then 2 or 3 lines of stats, how many goals they've got, where they've been previously, quotes that has been said about them, things like that. And then you've got the same for the substitutes as well, which can be annoying because if substitutes aren't used and you've researched them and you don't get to use your stats or your information, it's a bit like, oh well. But there's always next time. You can always reuse them if possible. And then there's head-to-head and all that, and just club stats. So yeah, I remember them through research and writing it all down. So any stats you did hear that you found interesting, I'm glad, because yeah, I enjoy doing the women's games now this season, because it's the first season I'm doing them, and you just learn a lot, stats and stuff and information you wouldn't have known previously. So it does spark my interest, and I do find it exciting to learn about all these new players who I'm probably, I hadn't heard of before. I didn't know a lot of the Everton players before this week, but it's been, I enjoyed that one. I really thought that was going to be a battering, but Everton held their own. Like I say, it's just that final third. They just didn't let themselves down because, you're away at Chelsea. The last time Chelsea lost here was in February 2021. They don't lose here very often at all. So they didn't let themselves down. They battled well in the midfield and everything like that. So I just think that's loads of positives for Everton to take. Everton are not going to come here and expect to get anything. They wouldn't have even expected to get a point. The last time they even beat Chelsea in a game was in the FA Cup quarter-final back in September 2020. So it's been a while since they've even beat Chelsea full stop anyway. But the fact that they can probably take away, and the fact that they played pretty well, and I think they were harshly done with that first penalty in the first half. I think that was harsh. But plenty of positives to take. I said it during the half-time. I am 99% sure that Everton will stay up. Remember, there's only one relegation spot, and that's taken up by Bristol at the minute. And Bristol are 5 points off Everton and West Ham and another team, Brighton. So there is other teams around down there with Everton. So they're not on their own down there near Bristol. And they've got too much quality to get relegated. They've got a decent amount of points at the moment, 11, compared to Bristol's 6. So I don't think Everton fans need to worry. I think they'll be absolutely fine, and they've got to try and go again next season because they've got the squad for it. I like the squad. I said it many times. I think they've got a lot of good players. It's just making those all gel into a team and working to each other's strengths, which will come with time. Obviously, they've got a lot. It's like today in today's starting 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are new signings from the summer or January. And, they've got 1, 2, 3 on the bench, so 8 of the 18 in the squad today for Everton are new signings for the season. So it just sometimes it just takes a while to gel, and definitely next season they'll look to try and improve on this season, where obviously they're 10th at the moment. They finished 6th last season with 30 points. They're 19 points off that at the moment with only 9 games left to play. So it'll be difficult for them to match that points tally that they got last season. But just to remind you, next commentary tomorrow, be here, Brentford, Manchester City Premier League. Tuesday, we've got Rangers against Aberdeen, going back to the Scottish football. Haven't done that for a while, so make sure you're there. Rangers, Aberdeen at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we've got Aston Villa taking on Chelsea in the FA Cup 4th round replay. So we've got 3 commentaries coming up in the next 3 days. We've had 2 today. So the channel's always busy, so make sure you're subscribing so you know when the next streams are. And exactly, you can become a member as well if you want. Don't have to, but you can get some stickers, you can get some emojis you can use. And I'm going to bring some weekly podcasts to members only. If anyone joins, I'll bring podcasts to them, but no one's joined at the moment, so I'll hold off there. But the podcast will just consist of just talking about the week's games. I'll do I'll rank stuff out. I'll think of some ideas. It'll be pretty cool. So if you want to become a member and be the first one, you could be the first one, then that would be pretty cool. But thanks to everyone who has been here. It's been a fantastic stream. WSL really does well, the women's games, and I enjoy doing them. I've watched the women's game for a while. I've just not commentated on them before this season, but I've really enjoyed them so far. We'll definitely try and bring that Chelsea-Manchester City game in 2 weeks' time. That's for sure, because that'll be a fantastic game. Fantastic game. And for Chelsea, it's been a good day. I know Manchester City won, but Arsenal lost. And I heard a stat on the show before I started the stream that no team have ever won the WSL after losing 3 games in a season, apparently. And Arsenal lost their third today. So, even though Arsenal are only 6 points behind Chelsea, and you might think that's nothing, only 6 points. Firstly, you've got to remember in the WSL there's only 22 games played, and as well, the golfing class between the top and the bottom teams are quite big, so the teams up there do very rarely drop points. They only drop points when they play each other. So if Arsenal want to get into the title race again, despite being 6 points clear, Arsenal will probably have to win every game they've got left, and we'll have to hope that, Manchester City get beat and Chelsea get beat by the likes of Manchester United and Liverpool and teams like that. So it's a big ask for Arsenal, despite only being 6 points off. It looks like they're out of the title race. It's probably going to be Manchester City and Chelsea, the 2 teams who are going to go for it. Chelsea are looking for 5 in a row, as it is Emma Hayes' last season in charge of Chelsea. She's been at the club since August 2012. Just unbelievable manager, Emma Hayes. Only 47 years of age as well, and she's been in the game for coming up to 12 years in August. So she's still got so much time left in football, and she's already achieved so much. So imagine her numbers and her trophies that she can win by the end of her career. It'll be fantastic to see. And it is a shame that we're losing her to America. Obviously, we've got Serena Wiegman at the moment, England, in charge of the national squad. But I just mean losing her from the English game. But then again, could you ever imagine Emma Hayes managing any other team other than Chelsea in England? Probably not. There's a good chance, and I can see that Emma Hayes would probably return to Chelsea after a stint elsewhere. After America, she might go somewhere else. But I feel like at some point she will return to Chelsea once again, Emma Hayes. That's not me knowing any inside information. I've got no idea, and I could be completely wrong. But I just can't imagine her managing any other team in England. In all honesty, that's a great run for a manager. Yeah, it's fantastic. I just love her personality. She's great. I've heard her on co-commentary there before in the World Cup in Qatar, and the Men's World Cup, and she's just like, I could hear her talk all day about football. She's just got that personality, and yeah, she's a big loss for the English game. But hopefully, we don't want her to achieve too much in America. We definitely don't want to win any World Cups or anything, because we need to bring that home first with England. But what a manager, and it'll be a big loss for Chelsea. And say if they do win the league and they win their 5th WSL in a row, and they've got to go again under a new manager, that's got to be a real opening for the other teams. They've got to look and go, right, they're without Emma Hayes, who's been the real oil in their machine. Like, we've got to give this a good go. So it could be a very tasty title race next season if Manchester City can stay consistent, and if Manchester United can get back into the top places. Obviously, they've dropped off a little bit this season, and Arsenal have just not quite been the Arsenal we know consistently this season. So we're going to have a cracking title race this season. We might only have 2 teams in it, but it's going to go right down to the wire between Chelsea and Manchester City. And hopefully next season we should have four teams in it, with United, City, Arsenal, and Chelsea. But that's next season. We've got to focus on this season, which is very finely poised at the moment. But I hope you did enjoy the live commentary. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you got your notifications on. We've got 3 commentaries coming at the start of the week, and then we've got 2 more coming on Sunday. Can't remember off the top of my head which ones they are, but I'm going to schedule them after this stream, so you'll be able to see which ones are going to be happening next week in about half an hour's time. So make sure you subscribe, like, and all that good stuff, so you know when the next live streams are going to be. But here from Kingsmeadow, the home of Chelsea women and their development squads. We have seen Chelsea return to the top of the WSL, winning 3-0 here against Everton. It was made difficult for them. They had to rely on 2 penalties in the first half, and the second, dispatched by Guro Wright and Erin Cuthbert, put them out of sight with the third goal with 7 minutes to play. It was hard fought. They had to work for it, but they've got the 3 points here. They go back top by 3 points, and here at Kingsmeadow it finishes Chelsea 3, Everton 0.